Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host. And yes, we are back. Hope you are all okay and good. And yeah, I'm feeling rather refreshed after a very long and late, well, early, late, I don't know what you want to call it. Was it early? Was it late? We'll get into it. But yeah, obviously we're going to talk about Manchester City 6, Align 0. Yep, we're going to get it. We're going to get into it, every single part of it. Let's say some hellos. Hello, Mingy Wong. How are you, my friend? Hope you are all still alive. Let me just put my Ethernet in, because the Ethernet isn't quite. I want to make sure you are getting it in 1080p. So I may just freeze for a second and come back. Right, yeah, please respect the guests. Yeah, big up, by the way, Mingy Wong and Harry for quite rightly saying, yeah, house rules. Please like the stream. Please do that. Subscribe to you and respect all opinions. I know LB's live. I get that. That's where a lot of people actually are at the moment. You know, LB likes to go live when I am. Nope, no, that's not to do with it. It's all love. Dash, good luck, and it's frozen on the comments because it's just switching over to the Ethernet. Yes, everyone smash those likes. Yeah. Hope you're all right. Let's have a look. Rich and Pat will be with us shortly. Like Harry and Mingy Wong said, respect the panelists, other users in the chat as always. Everyone got their own opinion, but no need to have a personal scrap. Exactly. Kathy, good evening. Hope you are well. Or good morning, depending where you are. Michael David, hello. 2 games, 2 goals, and a pen from corners. Happy days. Hello, fellow treble winners and 4-peak champions. Hello, DC. By the way, DC, was you at the game yesterday? Someone said you were at the game. Let us know. Let us know what you thought of it. Yeah, make sure you say hello to each other as well. It's always nice. Good evening, Sean. How are you, my friend? Michael, 8 Nori baller. We're going to get into that. 8 house captain. Evening, mate. By the way, if anyone wants to come on and join, let us know. I'll send you the link. It's your channel, as of course. Kathy, get the coffee out. You might need to do it all night. Oh. Hey, I was early tonight. Came on early. Came on 2 minutes early tonight. So let's see if anyone notices that little nugget. I was 2 minutes early. Evening, Nick. How are you, mate? Hope you are well. I feel baptized and refreshed. Baptized? What stream I saw that house captain was on. I see him. Yeah, big up Magnus for coming on. Kathy, you okay? You and LB streams clashing a lot, mate. I plan mine days in advance. Listen, it is what it is. No one owns the community. Heard Gundo wants to stay. Yes, he does. We've always gone live at this time in the evenings. Always have done. Okay, the CX post is good. Yeah, I told you we weren't finished. I always said we weren't finished. We need Liberamento. We'll see. I'm not saying anything because it just gets everyone hyped and conversations. Doesn't mean they're gonna end happy, but conversations. Yes, Martin, I was. It was quite the experience. Big up yourself, DC. If you, by the way, you want to email or anything, if you've got any videos, let us know. Who is the right back? We'll see. DC had 3 hours for going up to look after 2-year-old back at 7 p.m. yawning. 3 hours sleep. Someone told me that 8 Nori is the Algerian Gareth Bale. You were given the 5-star treatment with the scoreline. Is it homegrown right back? Maybe, maybe not. Hello, yeah. John Grogan, how are you, my friend? I've only had 2 hours sleep, so I'm knackered. I'm on no sleep. Here he is. Morning.
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 Do you know what?
Mate, how are you?
Very good, very good. It's hilarious listening to you whinge after having to do what we do every week for the last 20 years.
Who's whinging?
Oh, I haven't had any sleep. Oh, I only had 2 hours sleep.
So, did you move to Australia?
Soft.
So, did you move to Australia?
Yeah.
So,
who's fault about having to get
no,
out.
Rich, I'm not going to do this. People who were born abroad, I 100% get. They have my
Martin.
deepest sympathy. You chose to turn your back on your country, walk out on your queen and your king.
And you chose to support Manchester City and follow football and watch telly.
You chose to go to the other side of the world and turn your back on the UK. Turncoat Rich. Yeah, spot on. Turncoat Rich and Alan. I have no sympathy for Alan or Rich. You know that saying, the UK, love it or leave it. Rich and Alan bloody left it.
Yeah. No one has any sympathy for Alan full time. Full stop.
No goals in the Atletico Madrid Botafogo yet. Alvarez has missed 2 good chances. Don't say that. Anyway, Rich, come on then. So should we get into it? Should we get into the nuts and the bolts?
Yes, why not?
Let's get into it. Well, let's start, as you've seen, with the lineup. The lineup was there on your screen. It was Diego Moreno, who is pulling off the old tash at the moment, which I do like. He's got the old tash going at the minute. Manu Akanji, who, again, very, very solid, got to say. Kushinov. I'll get into Kushinov in a bit, because he's like a railroad train that hasn't got a break at the minute. Josko Gavadio, Aït-Nouri, who actually had one of the best debuts I've seen from a Manchester City player. Nico G, who, yeah, you can see he's still learning. Gundogan, who decided to roll back the years and get 2 goals, assist, and the old superior man of the match performance. Bernardo Silva, who took the captain's armband on with a lot of pride and dignity and driving forward, as we saw yesterday. Mateus Nunes. Echeverri, who scored a worldie of a free kick yesterday. And Erling Braut Haaland, who decided he didn't want to be a goal scorer no more and forget how to score goals. The bench was Edison, Bettinelli, Ruben Diaz, Tajani Reinders, Rudolph, Johnny Stones, Nathan Ake, Omar Mamouche, Jeremy Doku, Rodri, Victor Hayes, Savinio, Cherke, who came on and was magnificent. Foden, who came on and carried in, who pulled off the pass of the game for me. Oscar Bob and Nico Riley. So what did you think of the lineup, Rich?
Well, I think we thought it was going to be, 11 different players from the first game. So I think a lot of that lineup wrote itself in that we were expecting to have totally different players, and he basically went and tried to pick a different 11. So there was only a few players by the end, Rodri and Ruben, Bettinelli, a couple of others Stones who hadn't got a game last night. So yeah, it was a good lineup, and it just shows how strong we are that we can play the lineup we played 4 days ago and play this lineup, because both of those lineups wouldn't look mad starting a Premier League game. And that's 2 11s at the moment without Rodri and Ruben and Stones, which shows how big the current amount of players is and how good they are. So I was pleased. It was a chance to see Aït-Nouri in particular, and he was spectacular.
Did you get an hangover?
No.
I'll tell you what I did get, everyone. I got this sent to me at 7 o'clock this morning. That's what I got at 7 a.m. this morning.
Quite right.
And then Fee, in her own blessing, decided she was going to send me this.
That's so good.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, because I basically asked for a Mancunian Way flag. Because people who don't know, we are going to start doing merchandise on the channel this season at some point, hopefully, touch wood. We're going to do some merchandise. No big problems, but we're going to look at different things. Flags, Fee has her own business, which is amazing. We're going to look at. So, yes. It was quite an experience. We need Livamento. I enjoyed last night. Was a good watch. Introductions was predictably stupid. Yeah, you got to love the old WWE bit. Someone told me that Ain't Nori's the Algerian Gareth Bale. We've done that one. Love seeing Rich and Pat absolutely steaming last night. Luke, not in my lifetime. Go and show Luke a lot of love over there. Luke, Bebo, Alex, and the gang. Member for his 1 year anniversary. Big up yourself, mate. Loving that. And you know what that means? Because I've not done it for a couple of weeks and no one's reminded me. But big up.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
So big up. Pat says, gone out of bed.
Morning.
Morning. Did you see that stadium did look amazing? I'm really liking the fact that over 2 games, sub-final Club Cup, we've had different scorers and it's going to help us going forward. Yep. Big up, Luke. Alvarez is going to be a dad. Well done. Not a City player anymore, Cade. I wish him all the best, but he's not a City player anymore, so I'm not going to jump about it. Lenny, it was nice, but a bit weird. I appreciated the aircon, though. Yeah, apparently the aircon was very good. We did a 3-4-2-1 formation yesterday. We kind of, well, we'll get into it. Dash, yeah, thank you, Luke. I worry about us defending. I wouldn't worry about us at all, Jack. I didn't think we were bad defensively yesterday. Each to their own. Kathy, that's brilliant. I made in rumors that Luke is spending his pounds like he's Sheikh Mansour in Greece. Is it? Oh, Conway's joined us as well. Morning, Conway. Evening. Morning. Are you up to date yet?
Yeah. I'm all good, man. I'm all good. How you guys doing?
I'm good. Enjoyed the watch long this morning. Yes, I was watching at 4 a.m. my time. I'm stupid, I know, but it's worth staying up for 6 goals. Good performance, and I look forward to. Evening SOS. How are you, me old mucker? Haaland scored a pen. Yeah, but he should have got an hat-trick, Cade. His finishing was piss poor. Let's be honest. Call a spade, mate. Evening, fella Blues. Best in the land and all the world. Good evening, Blue Art. At least he's up for a normal reason today, not for the reason I said. Luke, you enjoying your holiday, buddy? I hope he is. Who else? Pardo, so not funny. What wasn't? Pardo, we like a laugh on this channel, mate. Come on. We do like a bit of a giggle and a laugh on the channel. We do like a little bit of a giggle and a laugh. We're not all serious. And I know it's not to everyone's liking, but we are going to have a bit of a giggle, bit of sense of humour as well, mate. Who was your man of the match for you, Gundogan, by a country mile? Which did spark a massive debate. Yes, Livramento is required, I agree, or a right back. Like the warm-up, Rich? What warm-up? Oh, the warm-up for the intro. Big up, Ed. Thank you. By the way, big up to everyone who joined us last night. Nearly 3,000 people came on that last night. Thank you so much. Yeah, amazing. And now we just got to hope, because right now, correct me if I'm wrong, if we finish second, we get the 2 a.m. game on the Tuesday. If we finish top, we get the 8 p.m. game.
No. If we top the group, the next 2 possible, the round 16 and the quarterfinals will be 2 a.m. kickoffs for you. If we finish second in the group, pretty much all the way through to the final, every game that we play will be early morning here. So that'll be like, what, 8 p.m. for you.
Yeah.
See, now we've possibly started.
Oh, right, I get you. It's on about the Chris Wood stuff. Yeah. I think they do it more to wind me up, Pardo. We're not going to hear the end of the Echeverry thing. Well, you got to give the devil his due. He was very, very good yesterday. But is he ready to start? Only time will tell. I already showed Luke a lot of love. If I showed any more rumours may start. Oh, dear. Are you cheating on me now? Cheating on Pat? Cheating on me? Cheating on all sorts now. Real group is very close. If they lose, they are out. Second what? Oh, second, right. Yeah, for the kickoff time. Right, let's get into it then. Lineups, what did you all think? I was over the moon with that lineup. I have got some negatives from the game on performances, and I know Conway's going to kill me and have a pop at me. But before I go into the negatives, I want to talk about the positives. I thought we started with a far superior tempo than what I've seen in a very, very long time. And the way we were moving that ball forward was quick, it was decisive, and there wasn't any of this 3 minute sideways backward passing that was going on. It was passing with a meaning yesterday. Good night, everyone. Thank you for that analytical viewpoint. Good night, everyone. This isn't going to work if I say a line and no one follows me.
My dogs responded immediately. Broadly agreeing. What's the complaint?
This ain't going to work if people don't jump. I know it's 6:30 in the morning for you two, but come on, Conway. Someone's got to give me a bone here.
No, I don't dispute anything that you just said there. I totally agree with it. I can't add anything more regarding what you said, but I wanted to talk about individual performances about the players, certain players that I saw that were brilliant.
Go on, man.
Before we get onto the negatives, I think the backline was solid. I thought throughout the entire period, criticisms when he said the comment that he mentioned about the Club World Cup. I thought he really stood his ground today. He had a very solid performance, and he did complete the game. So I think Akanji, people saying that he doesn't care about the tournament or he's bringing a bad sort of mentality to the camp. That's not what I saw on the pitch when I saw Akanji play. So I thought he deserves a lot of credit because a lot of people have been saying negative things about him, which I've heard personally, and I'm sure you guys have heard as well. So big up to him. I think Nuri, top left back, brilliant left back. I think we now have a left back that can beat his man, deliver brilliant crosses from the left hand side. He's also quite good aerially as well. So a couple of times when he won headers defensively, he's very good defensively as well. So I can't fault Nuri. I thought he was brilliant. Nico G, I know you got onto him earlier, Martin, in the first couple minutes of the game when he got roughed off the ball. But I thought he was a bit... we didn't notice him after that. And I think that was a good thing because we didn't see him make any silly mistakes like he did then. So I won't say too much on him. Gundogan, I agree, man of the match by far. I think that's, along with the Newcastle performance that he had when we won at home and couple games towards the end of the season, I think this has probably been his best performance since he's come back. But it's sad because he might go to Turkey now, so it is what it is. And I 100% agree, man of the match. Yeah, that's Haaland. We'll probably get onto that later. Cherky coming off the bench, brilliant. Foden, magnificent. And Oscar Bob with the goal as well. I thought before he scored that goal, he was a bit quiet, but I knew he had something in him and he delivered. Who else is there? Am I missing someone? Nunes was good as well. But yeah, that Echeverry, big up to him. Great free kick. But I thought it was a solid, good run performance from the entire team. What you said earlier, Martin, players releasing the ball a bit quick, the intensity levels when we had the ball. Bernardo Silva, by the way, I can't forget about his brilliant performance. That pass to Gundo as well. I thought that was Foden that delivered the pass away with Bernardo. Top performance. And you got to give credit to Linders. I think he's coming to this team, helping Pep with the tactics and whatnot and how the players should set up on the pitch, how we play quick set pieces as well. I think how many goals have we scored so far on set pieces just across these 2 games in the Club World Cup? I mean, these new additions to the backroom staff, they've been doing one hell of a job so far. So credit to them as well, man.
Yeah, big up to James French. Hey, I've got a little bit of injury update. Echeverry has had a scan. We are now waiting on the results of that scan. Echeverry's had the scan and they're now waiting on it because there was a little bit of an issue with that ankle, sadly. So we will say, Pat, your thoughts on the the good things on the game, and then I will come to the things because I know people are going to attack me on cushing off. I know they're going to, but I'm going to be honest with it when I say it.
Yeah, well, I think Rich and I were looking at the lineup, just as well, our way out to the game, and there was a lot of players there that we wanted to see play. We're glad to see play. Fascinating, different formation. I mean, kind of felt like a 4-1-4-1, which was going to led the possibility of opening the game up a little bit for us as well too. That could be for both sides actually. But besides that, I was happy to see Kuzanov start. I was happy to see Echeverri start as well too. Not too sure about this link up on the right between Kuzanov and Mateus Nunes. However, it did create a bit of width, which allowed Bernardo Silva just free rein around the whole midfield, basically. Nico G shows why he's not an out-and-out number 6 because we saw that he can get ambushed from time to time as well. So if he's got the right player around him to accompany him, then he can do that job, but not when he's asked to run the show on his own. Besides all that, I loved some of the link-up play with the midfield between Bernardo, Echeverri, and Gundogan. I thought they were good. Haaland, I know you said Haaland could have had a hat trick as well too, but I did like he played some support roles as well too, some supporting roles. I mean, the assist for Turkey as well too was very good. I don't know how often you probably see that sort of thing from Haaland in years gone by. So there was a few things that we took, good little positives that we took out of that today, and it was great to see Echeverri score his first goal, Turkey score his first goal. So overall, I mean, if anybody was concerned about the goal difference, I mean, we certainly gave it a good crack. So can't discredit the team going forward. I mean, as you alluded to, Conway said, like underlined us in French now. They seem like they've got fire in the eyes and a cattle prod up the backside. You know what I mean? So they are playing with a bit more purpose and a lot more on the front foot now. So it's a huge relief, and it's very, very refreshing to see after what was quite a dour last season.
Rich?
Yeah, no, I agree. We're playing with a bit more pace, a bit more energy, a bit of enthusiasm. I was really pleased to see Nuri because he's brought some, you can just see his technique, his ability to hold the ball, dribbling. We saw that from Turkey when he came on too. So it was, quite exciting to see. And, kind of expected lineup. I think, the big disappointment for me was just, we need Erling to have his Viking warrior, mentality and his lethal finishing back for the start of the season because he's just going through a small dip in confidence at the end of the season.
I hope he does that now, Rich. I'd rather him do this now, pre-season, than doing it in the season. I'd rather get the kinks out of the way now.
Yeah, he just needs. I think it's a bit mental at the moment. I think one goal, he's going to hit one smasher, and it'll be off and away. I just think it's a little bit mental, and he's looking fitter. He's actually looking, fitter and stronger. But he just needs that goal in open play, from a tight angle or something, just to get him back to his, scoring for fun. And yes, I know. And the lineup, and we were trying to work it out whether it was. It almost looked at times like we were, perhaps thinking of 5 at the back or 3 at the back with 2 wingers again. Like it was almost 3-1, 5-1. It was certainly interesting, but it was just a quicker, a bit more movement, a bit more fluid, a bit more attacking.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the one thing I will say is I thought. But when I look at the lineup from yesterday, and I do sit there, and I loved what I was watching. So in terms of, excuse me, someone just got things on that. But when I was looking at the lineup, and the thing I enjoyed the most was scoring goals early now. Now, I know it's hard and people are, but we're now scoring goals very early. So in the last game, the opening 2 or 3 minutes. In this game, the opening 10 minutes. And it was a lovely finish by Gundogan. I'm still not sure whether he meant it. I'm going to give the devil his due and benefit the doubt that he did mean it. But I think it was a cross back post to Erling Braut Haaland. I thought the free kick from Echeverri was absolutely sublime. Shame he was getting kicked and done all over pillar to post. The penalty was the penalty. Akanji was he was trying to shirt swap with him in the penalty box. That was a penalty all day long. And then I think second half, with the changes that were made, I thought it did sort of slow it just a touch. But then I think when the substitutions came on, when Cherky came on and Foden come on and Rodri come on, Bob, I think we upped the tempo a little bit again from that point, which is what I enjoyed. And when I look at the likes of Cherky and Phil Foden, some of the passing from Foden and Cherky yesterday was absolutely sublime. Now, again, it's the opposition, and people will say, it's not quite Real Madrid. I want to see him do that against Madrid and Juventus, etc. I get all that. But you can only judge what you see. And in the 2 games so far, I have seen a vast improvement in our play, a vast improvement in our system. I'm looking at a left back in Ain't Nora who we've not had a fullback who drives into the box like that since Ben Mendy days. Now, I know Ben Mendy was a small sample size because of the cruciate ligaments that he got, which I think probably ended his city career at that point on. I think it ended his footballing career. I think he went downhill, sadly. And I know he got cleared and all that, but we won't go into that. But I think it ruined his footballing career at that point. But what I saw from Ain't Nori was really positive. Someone who wants to gamble, wants to drive into the space. So, he doesn't give up on the ball. He could have given up on the ball 4 times yesterday and that ball going out for a throw-in, and he didn't. He was chasing the thing down and stopping it going out, and I love seeing things like that. Erling Haaland, yes, needs to improve on his finishing, his one-on-one, but I'd rather him miss him now than in 4 or 5 weeks' time against Wolves. I'd rather him do that. Right, I want to come on to my issue with Kushinov. It is not his playing style. Not bothered about his defending. My issue is, well, it is and it isn't. My issue is, I look at the guy, and I said this when he first signed. I think he's a wonderful talent. He's going to be amazing. My issue is, at the time, we were after a bit of fight and determination in the back line, weren't we? Kushinov, I think, gives you that fight, determination, and everything that you need. The trouble is, when you're playing free-flowing football, that isn't the type of defender you fully need at times. And I've gone back and I've done a bit of research and I've had a check. Every time Kushinov's been substituted, when he's been getting a yellow card. Bournemouth, yellow card, hooked. You look at all the games, he's been hooked every time he's been booked. I think Pep's got a little bit of you're a red card waiting to happen sometimes. And I think that will come out. I don't want to take it out of his game, but I think it has to be managed, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to take away that out of his game and it becomes powder puff. I want him to fight, but I want him to do it without the yellow cards and the red cards. If that makes sense.
He needs to be more disciplined and controlled aggression.
Yes, that's probably the best word I'm looking for.
Know when to do that.
Yeah, I'm not doubting him. I'm not doubting his ability whatsoever because I think the guy is going to be a phenomenal player.
I disagree with the yellow thing, by the way. I don't think that's enough sample size to call.
No, I've looked today. He's been substituted every time he's been booked.
But how many? What's the number of games? What's the total?
It was. I'll just get it up while you're talking amongst yourselves. I will get it up. And it's the quickness he gets subbed as well after it. He gets subbed quite quickly after it.
Because I remember people were saying the same thing about Nico G when we signed him in January.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's bad. Because he only had 504 minutes, and that's the problem.
But I'm just afraid of that. People are just gonna start labeling him as like when Granit Xhaka was at Arsenal when he gets yellow cards and.
Yes, and that's what I don't want to do. I'm not saying I don't want to take that out of his game. I'm just saying it. I think for me, he struggles deciding between when to tackle and when to shadow. If you understand what I mean by that, Conway. Some people coaching, they say shadow him, which means or stand him up is the other term. Stand him up. They tell you not. It's like don't tackle in an area you don't need to tackle. If that makes sense. Don't give the referee the option. Do you understand what I mean? And I think it's hard, but you know, I personally think he's going to be one of our better centre half. I look at Victor Hayes and I look at Kushinov, and I think our centre backs are going to be sorted for the next 5-10 years. I have no doubts on that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You're asking me now. That's all.
Yeah, no, I think I'm not worried about Kusanov's disciplinary issues and whatnot. I think he's still a young defender. I think the first red card that he will get, whether it's in this tournament or when the season starts, I think the fan base will probably be a bit wary of his next game if he gets a yellow card in the first half. Should Kusanov complete this game, I think we should give him time to see where he goes with it. And I'm pretty sure they are having conversations regarding his physicality when he's on the pitch, how you handle the opposition players when they're approaching you, when to tackle, how to tackle. You mentioned the shadowing. Yeah, I think he's going to work on that aspect of his game. I'm not too worried about Kusanov. People know my thoughts on him. I rate him highly, top defender in my opinion, and I think it's only a matter of time when he starts solidifying himself as a starting centre back.
Yeah, I'm not putting him down, Conway. I'm not putting him down. No top of the league says, but I'm not putting him down. I'm just looking at his play.
I know you're not. Yeah.
To analyse.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm not calling him names or anything. I want to get your opinion, you two, on that midfield yesterday. What was your opinion, Rich, Pat? You said, what was your opinion of that midfield?
I don't think it had enough pressure on it, really, to be able to fully judge. Probably a bit lacking in pace. In some ways, the most energetic was Gundogan, and he's 34. Although I have to say he's looking more sprightly than he has in a long while, and it is interesting how the unks, and I'll include Stones with the unks in this occasion, they've been put in a position now where they're going to make a lot of money, whether they leave this summer or next, because we've set ourselves up that if we want them to leave, we're now going to have to pay them to leave. So they're looking, I know Stones didn't play, but he was brought out to the press with Pep the day before, looking sprightly and talking about how much he's looking forward to the season with City. Gundogan went out of his way to say he's staying and he's looking forward to the year at City after the game. So they're now looking a bit sprightly when they were looking knackered last season. But I think that's partly a mentality thing. I think there's a good mood in the camp at the moment. So the midfield, I just think it was untested, so it was hard to really judge it, because I don't think Alain's midfield was anywhere near as good as the one from, was it Al Wadi on 4 days earlier. I thought Belmadi, I think his name was, played far better than any of the other midfielders in either game and put pressure on us. I don't think they did yesterday.
I'm not saying don't give Kushinov time top of the league. I'm just saying what I see when we coaching how. Not criticising him. Case, but Eddie Reese, Diaz, Ake, ain't no Reinders, Nico G, Nunes, Fording, Mel, what? Oh, right, okay. Confused me then, Cade. Thought we were already on the Juventus game there. which I get. Right, I mean, I like Nico J. I think Nico Gonzalez is a tremendous player. But I do see why Pep still is a bit with him sometimes. Again, for me, coach's hat on. I think he gets a bit lost in midfield sometimes. I'm not sure because he is a number 8 playing as a 6 yesterday. I'm not sure because I look at that incident and I know everyone will go, "Oh, it's not too bad." In the Premier League, that's punished, and it's 1 each to get caught on the ball like that. But I will say he's a number 8 playing as number 6. But with Nico G being there, I think that allowed Gundogan to have the freedom he got. Because I think Gundo is too old to play that 6 role. I don't think he's mobile enough.
And to an extent, I think Nico G can play that role if he's got the right people around him.
Yeah.
So
Bernardo's
always going to track. If Bernardo's always going to track back and play the sort of second role, like we said, trying to do quite a bit last season, then it sort of gives. First of all, it gives Nico G a little bit more freedom, and secondly, it doesn't run as much a risk of him getting ambushed when he's on his own, because that's exactly what we saw when they nearly scored.
Mm-hmm.
It was a case of that, basically. So, again, I think certain players can play certain roles, but it's all about the company you keep as well.
Yes, I'd see what you mean by that. Are you thinking Reinders Rodri with him as a midfield?
Yeah.
Because I think that could be quite something, that as a middle 3 of those 3.
Yeah.
That could be something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just have a look where we're up to next. Botafogo are through. Oh, they through.
Yeah.
I looked at it. If Atletico scored one more, I think they may have gone through.
Nah, Atletico Madrid are fully out.
Atletico are out?
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. I said Atletico finished 3rd in the group, but I think if they'd scored 1 or 2 more goals against Botafogo, they would.
Oh, yeah.
But Botafogo go through on goal difference.
Yeah.
Second in the group.
Oh, big up Botafogo.
Yep, South American team, man.
Big up, Alf, for the raid. Appreciate that, mate. Go over and give Alf a lot of love. Hit that subscribe button for him. Big up, Adam. How's that group ended? Yeah, you just heard. This is City raid as well. Thank you. Go and show This is City a lot of love as well. Big up, This is City, MCFC Connect, and Alf. Appreciate that. Hit those likes. This is City raid. Big up, all. Yeah, cheers. Thank you, Rosa. Alvarez to City. Alvarez, no. We've done that. I thought Gundo and Bernie control things really well. Still have a concern with Nico as a 6. I think we're going to remember Nico G still a new player. He's only been here 6 months.
6 months.
Well, 5.5 months. So he's only been here 5 months. I do think we forget. I think we're looking at some of these new January signings as though they're old boys now.
We call them players over 25 months before you know
it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is anyone over the age of 20? Yeah, 22's old now in the world. At the moment, still no. Oh, yeah, Botafogo and PSG advance, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go Botafogo. I have checked, by the way, the permutations. City will play, you are right, Real Madrid or Red Bull Salzburg or Al Hilal.
Yeah.
Depending on how that now goes.
Yeah.
I think
at the moment, I would say it'll be Al Hilal. If we top the group, it'll be Al Hilal because they play Pachuca, which is probably the easier of the 2 games.
Yes.
Real Madrid
we're going to assume that Real Madrid will probably get the win against Salzburg, so that'll probably mean Al Hilal will overlap.
So what time? No, mate. I'm you know me. I'm just talking. You know me in analytics, top of the league. I go into coach mode and start doing analytical stuff. What time's the kickoff then? If we finish top,
if we finish top, the round of 16 and the quarterfinals will be 2 a.m. kickoffs for you.
Oh my day!
If we finish second in the group, basically the entire route to the final will be like that 8 p.m. sort of kickoff.
Yeah, let's finish second. Second.
That's not.
I want to finish second, man.
What? And you want to play Real Madrid and get knocked out in the round of 16?
I think Real Madrid would be an easier opponent than Al Hilal.
There's a controversial.
I think
take.
if you look at Al Hilal and how they played against Real Madrid, with Inzaghi as their coach, I rate Inzaghi highly. They've got a good set of players within their team. I think people are just assuming the fact that it's a Saudi club that they won't be as good on the pitch as Real Madrid would be. And I'm not comparing the two now. I'm just saying currently with how the team is set up, they have a more balance within their team than Real Madrid do. I don't think Real Madrid have a balanced midfield. Trent is still learning how to play for Madrid with how Xabi Alonso wants to utilize his fullbacks. Asensio got a red card for Madrid, so they have a bit of a shortage on centre-backs Madrid at the moment. So I think Madrid will be a way easier opponent than Al Hilal will be. So if we finish second and we happen to play Madrid, I'm not worried. But if we finish top and we play Al Hilal, there's question marks for me. I wouldn't be too confident going into that game. But that's just me.
Everyone well. Elliot, good evening. How have you not spoken about Echeverri? My sources are telling me this geezer called Elliot was talking about him 2 years ago. Well, you really wasn't. You're talking about 15 and 16-year-olds, Elliot. Come on now. No, pause. Yes, we know you've been on the Echeverri train. You've been on it and you're loving it and you're jumping on it. I get it. He was very, very good.
Wait, if we draw against you, what do we finish second? If it's
We finished second.
No.
Which is why we wanted the seventh goal, because the seventh goal meant that if we'd still stay top.
Echeverri, are you all keeping him?
Yeah, 100%.
No one's loaning him.
Yeah, well, he can stay for me. Yeah.
Oh, stay for you, right? Conway's all right. Good night. Conway said he can stay for him.
Martin, honestly, I think it depends a lot on the loan. I mean, if you can loan a player like that to the right manager and they can actually get guaranteed game time, like, see the way Peroni's improved at Como. So if you had a club like that and they take a couple of players and they play them, then, why not? But if it's a loan to not play football somewhere else, it's stupid.
Man, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised overall. Just be surprised that it took this late for him to mention it.
Well, he has got the link. If he wants to come on and have a bone.
Yeah. I think it's a very, very inappropriate, culturally insensitive comment by Alan. Here's a club from a team where none of the players or very few of the players drink, and he's calling them a pub team. That's just our owners would be horrified that there's such cultural lack of awareness among our fans.
Do you want me to give you?
Can I just say?
This Alling was apparently the club that Mancini got that $4 million quid for.
That's a club. That's a club managed by Mancini, and Alan's calling them a pub team. He's slagging off Mancini. He's slagging off our owners. Out of order.
Take Conway up on the Madrid Hilal bet. No, Conway doesn't pay his bets. I've got a little bit of breaking news.
Martin, that's Alan. Don't confuse him with Alan. It's Alan who doesn't pay his bets.
The Echeverri results are back tomorrow. Manchester City have met with Aaron Hickey representatives.
Wait, what? You said Aaron Hickey?
Brentford right back.
Oh, yeah. 23 years Aaron Hickey. Yeah. What about him?
Is he Scottish?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you wonder what Brentford's intentions are now that Thomas Frank's gone. You wonder what they plan on doing.
Now, just because it is speaking does not mean happening. Because I know he didn't make any appearances last year. Was he injured last year? Yeah, he was out all season with a major hamstring. Jesus, nah, I can't touch this guy. His injury record is disgusting. He was out for 6 months with an hamstring injury.
Yeah, he's only played 30 games in 3 seasons.
I
remember this guy that talking about it. He was really good at Bologna a couple of years back, and then just sort of went off the radar.
Yeah,
That's what it must be. Yeah, yeah.
Nah, I can't be doing it, kid. Have you seen it? He's lucky. He's been out for a year and a half on a hamstring. What's up with his hamstring? Has he not got one?
Hang on a second.
Nah. Aaron Hickey's not for me, mate. How did you rate Ain't Nora? Absolutely brilliant. Breath of fresh air he was.
Yeah, 21-22 season, he played nearly 2,834 minutes for Bologna. Since then, this is the end of 2022 season.
Yeah.
Since then, he's played a total of just over 2,600 minutes. So in 3 seasons, he's played just over 2,600 minutes.
Yeah,
that sounds like someone who's just had a major physical breakdown.
He's been out with his hamstring injury for 18 months. Nah, thanks. Give that one a miss.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sure there's a good player there, but just until you.
Wait, is this about Hickey? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Aaron Hickey. Yeah,
No,
no.
If we're going to Brentford, we should get Rico Henry then instead of him.
Formidable agrees with Alan. To be fair, 6-0 versus a championship team. Hang on, no, we can't do this, Formidable, because everyone said we were shit the other day when we only beat Wydad 2-0. Come on, this is what I mean. It's different energy here for different stuff.
Did anybody see that apparently FIFA extended Rico Lewis's ban by another 2 years?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Rico Lewis and O'Reilly are going to struggle in this team moving forward. I'm going to be honest with you even more. And Conway, don't kill me for this.
Yeah, I know you're going to say.
Savio was struggling in this team.
Yep,
I don't see where Docker and Savio fit in that team yesterday.
So that's 4 players that you've mentioned, Martin, that you think are going to struggle in this team. 4 players.
You tell me where. All right, well, let's take Rico and O'Reilly's, because left back's got 3 options there. Midfield is full. Where does O'Reilly go?
O'Reilly, to me, automatically becomes the backup for Ainori.
Who?
Ainori. He will become the backup left back for Ainori, O'Reilly.
What, more than Gavadio?
That'll be accurate.
But Vardio, Diaz, they've built a good, solid centre-back partnership over the past couple of games towards the end of the season. I think that's how we're gonna.
But Ake will play. Ake will play. And Ake was the best left back in the Premier League this season. Before last.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. He has to come back to full match fitness, though. I think he's not quite there.
Yeah, but I think he will be by August.
Thank you. Yeah, well, he suffered a serious injury against Chelsea. October 23, 10 months after the injury was revealed, there has been a setback. He would miss all of the season. Yeah, no thanks. Don't want Aaron Hickey. I don't care if they've had a chat with him. Nah, not for me. Another Stones, yeah. Mancini is our lipper. What, did he smoke cigars on the side of the things? Did you see Haaland's before we signed him? He wasn't out for a year and a half, though, was he? Surely not.
No.
Rich doesn't want Echeverri, but he wants to keep Stones. You've been called out, Rich.
But I've never said I don't want Echeverri. I've just said, the loan question is if you only send a player out on loan if it's going to be brilliant for them and it's going to make them better for you.
Yeah.
I think he's a big long-term part of the team. But, it's whether Pep's going to play him or not. If he's not going to play him, then a loan at someone like Como is better for him. If he is going to play him, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Is there any issues with the body? Have you heard anything about that one?
No news at the moment. Echeverri's had his scan, I've been told, and the scan results should come back tomorrow.
Mm.
So we'll know more on that. See, the thing is, even with we're bringing people in, nothing will really happen until people go out. And the trouble is, no one wants to bloody move.
Yeah, well, we've put ourselves in a position. I mean, it's the positives of getting our business done quickly was that we got our business done quickly. The negative is now that our players can basically sit there and say, you're going to have to pay me to go. And we're going to have to, for the players to go, And the trouble is, Pep doesn't look like he wants to be a part of any of it because he's spending most of his time praising Gundogan, Bernardo, and Stones and how much he loves working with them, and then saying, "But we have to get rid of 4 people." So, it's we'll have to decide whether we want to take a loss and we want to pay players to play for other clubs or not.
And the trouble is, Rich, you can't pay Stones, Jack Grealish, McAtee, Bernardo. You're not going to listen. I don't. And everyone's on about Gundo to Galatasaray. I ain't sure like that.
Don't let this performance earlier today change your mind, man.
Yeah.
But again, the trouble is, Conway, people have to pay money. This is where I don't get the KDB comparison. KDB was a freebie. Next summer will be a lot easier because you're going to lose 3 or 4 players on free transfers. It's a lot easier then to get the movement out.
Yeah.
You'd laugh, Martin, after that comment about the dog and duck. I got asked yesterday, is Alan an act or is he really that miserable?
Did someone say that?
Someone knows a few asked.
Yeah.
Is he really that miserable? Oh.
Bernardo is not leaving. I never said he was leaving. Alan, people are asking, are you an act or are you really miserable?
It's a miserable act.
Would I rather have Wesley? Isn't Wesley going to Brighton?
That's what I'm saying.
They made a £20 million bid for him, yeah.
I think he's going to Brighton, Elliot.
Yeah, I'd love Wesley. Isn't that the prince from the Princess Bride? That'd be great.
As Conway calls him, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Look at David T. Hickey better than Livramento. The thing is, it's whether City will put the bid in for Livramento. I honestly believe 80 million quid gets you Livramento. It's whether City go to 80 million quid.
I think if we win the Club World Cup, we pay the money because we get a lot of money from the tournament.
And it's probably...
I don't believe City will pay 80 million quid. That's the thing.
And it's probably not 80 because it's probably going to be more than that because they're probably going to have to pay someone to leave to create the spot as well. I mean, I know he's home great, but they're probably going to have to chuck another 20 million to, get rid of an English player to create the spot for it. So I think it's going to be a 100 million deal because we put ourselves in a position where no one has to leave now, and yet they do.
The thing with Newcastle, Craig, I would say that I was on a Newcastle channel yesterday, is if they want to buy bigger players, they're going to have to generate money. They're not generating money any other way because I was on, by the way, True Black and My Eyes was on there yesterday. And even they were saying the Newcastle fans are, there's no revenue coming in the door at the minute in terms of there's not a training ground sponsor, there's not a training ground kit sponsor. They've not got it.
Wait, they're about to sign Trafford, though, so how does that work?
In what way would you mean?
The Newcastle are signing Trafford.
No, they've got money, but they haven't got money to buy. They can't buy 4 players at 60 million each.
It hasn't. The money hasn't been washed yet.
Wolf, rich. They've got some money.
I mean that.
They're only offering lower fees. Conway, go on, Rich. Sorry.
It has to be PSR. Has to be PSR money. The thing is,
no, it's not PSR. It's PSR money. No, it's not. They're not hampered by PSR. They're hampered on the amount they can spend because of the amount they bring in.
Yeah, exactly. But so they've got to find a way.
It's PSR, but it's not. Yeah, they're not like desperate on PSR, but they can't.
But they can't.
300 million.
They've got to sell the booster.
They've got a wage cap. That's the other problem they've got, or a kind of wage cap. David Teal tell you that. The highest earners 130, 140 grand a week, or whatever it is. You're not going to bring in top talent on that. Not with people here anyway. I think you'll see more on July the 1st, like Dar says. I agree. I want to talk about Oscar Bob. Because scored a brilliant goal, by the way. But you can just see when I look at he's coming back from that leg break and a couple of setbacks, and you can just see that because I think Oscar Bobby's such a talent, an absolute breath of fresh air. But you can see he's still not quite at the level he was last preseason. You can see that leg break injury is just maybe setting back up a little bit.
Yeah. But I think he's quite. He plays when he came off the bench today. I thought he was a bit moving a bit precautionary, if that's the right word to say, with the football. I think he, as the game started to flow a bit better for him, that's when he got more confident. And he ran with the ball. Thought he scored a brilliant goal, by the way. And Cherky did before that Oscar Bob goal happened. He was good as well. But yeah, I think I don't think he's ready to fully start games from minute one. I think Pep's gonna bring him off the bench in the next game. Obviously in the next round, bring him off the bench for those games as well. But yeah, I think we're slightly utilizing Oscar Bob currently in terms of minutes the same way we are with Rodri. And I think that's the right approach. I do think that's the right approach.
Pat, Rich, Oscar Bob.
Yeah, I thought he looked like he was, he was, excited to be on the pitch, but he hasn't got the confidence, the confidence he had when, going into last season where everything he touched turned to gold. It looked like in those pre-season games, now he looks like a good player there and some good moments, but he's just playing his way back in. That injury obviously was a lot more serious than we probably thought at the time, and he's been out for a year, so it's going to take time for him to get that rhythm back. And I just hope that we give him enough game time, during this tournament and in any other games we play before the season to do that, because it worries me that there's a player he might have to go out on loan because he needs football and he needs to get his confidence back. And I'm worried about whether he'll get it at City in the short term.
Bob will be Ballon d'Or level, says Spartacus. There's Alan with his agenda.
Class.
Bobby's class, sell Doku. Poor Doku. So players would rather not be registered and take up the club's money, but the club has to treat them nice instead of ruthless.
Well,
I don't get what you mean by that. So they can't cancelling contracts costs money, mate.
A lot of money.
All City can do is say,
Need a buyer head.
Mr. Gundogan, here's a £15 million check, you can go. That's all they can do. It's not ruthless.
Yeah.
It's just giving them everything they want. And so, yeah. And, if you do that, you're taking a massive hit on your wages, possibly depending on the player, amortization if it was Jack Grealish. And, that could blow you up from being able to sign other players anyway. Because if you blow 50 million on, paying out players and stuff, that's probably 3 world-class players you can't sign.
Sure I want white. Not sure I want white. Bobby's nailed on for the right when ready, fitness-wise. Nailed on? I don't think anyone's nailed on. I do think they're going to have to play for the positions this year.
No, I think a couple players are nailed on.
Why do you think's nailed on?
Edison, Diaz, Barrio. I know.
You think Edison's nailed on?
If he stays, Rodri. Foden's nailed on. Haaland.
Thought Foden was very good again when he came on.
Yeah, 100%. That pass, by the way, from the left-hand side that he did for Haaland. Totally brilliant, man. He looks like the player that we saw win the PFA Player of the Year. That's the Foden that we're now seeing. And I love it.
I keep Doku thinking he can offer something really good, especially when we play close to the sea. on ways not biting. Yeah, that's the thing, Cable. We can't add any more players. You're full at the minute, mate. Players need to go now. They are still looking at the right.
Stage where if one comes in, two have to go out.
Yeah, we are looking at other signings. We're not, but we're looking at other signings, but we need to get players out.
I don't think it's quite complicated, though. We just have to sell 2 players out of the 27 that's in America currently, right?
No, because you've still got Jack Grealish. You've still got McAtee here. You left players at home, you know that, don't you, Conway?
I'm not worried about McAtee. I do think we get a buyer for him, and I think
no one's coming.
No, I think obviously Dick. He's currently playing a Euros tournament. After it's done, then I think we do get.
No one bid while they're at this tournament.
July 1st. More will come. More news will come. July 1st.
I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, but I think it needs to be. If you are playing well, you get in the team. I don't think you should be there on reputation. I agree with Rodri. I think when Rodri's fully fit, he will be the number 1 CDM. I think Haaland will be the number 1 striker. But what I saw yesterday was players who were desperate to play. And I think Gundogan's talked about this and other players I've in recent days of. They know they've got to perform now to get in the team.
Yeah.
They've got competition.
Yeah.
Earn it. Earn it now.
Reinders, by the way, I think he's another player that's nailed on for me. I haven't seen any fault in his game over these past 2 games. I think he's a top player, Reinders.
He certainly started well.
Yeah.
Do you start Reinders against Juve?
I tell you who that had a big focus on. We were watching yesterday. Who's looked very good so far is young Cambiasso. He's been Juventus' best player in the first 2 games.
Some of that link-up plays done in the last 2 games, though, Ken O'Neill has been...
Drop the Cambiasso stuff. That's gone.
No, I'm saying he was showing a quality of football in the attacking sense that Livramento can only dream of. And, some really good ball movement, really good passing in the final third. So it'll be interesting to watch him against us, because if he has a game like he has in the 2 easier games, we're going to be wondering why we're going for Livramento for twice the money.
Let's be honest, man. We could do negotiations with Juve between now and Thursday. He could be wearing a City shirt before the game, and then as soon as he steps on the pitch in a City shirt, he'll get injured.
I just think they've moved away. I think they've moved away from him.
Yeah, it seemed like that injury history was a bit of a no.
Kyle Walker's not done out yet. Calvin Phillips hasn't even been put out yet.
But I don't think it's quite obvious that Pep and the club, they've told those players they're going, and they've written those off. And we'll probably have to take a bit of a hit on those players, but they'll go because they know they're not going to play. But the issue is in the 25, there's 2 or 3 there who need to go if we were to sign, for example, a couple more players. And I don't think we're going to be, we're not wanting to take a hit on them, because we've probably already written off 30 million on, more than that, probably 60, 70 million on Phillips, Grealish, McAtee and everything by doing what we've done. So we can't afford to take that hit on another 3 or 4 players. So we'll have 100 million PSR hit.
I'm not surprised Jack Lee West isn't here, Phil, playing well at the moment. I'm surprised you're here then. Craig says Walker, McAtee, Phillips, Grealish, Cabore, Peroni, Wilson, Espan, Callum Down, have all been told to find new clubs. There you go. And we never none of them are even at the bloody Club World Cup.
No. Yeah. And given that Peroni's already signed for Como, he's asked, he's large. Yeah, he's already gone 15 million a few weeks.
Yeah. There was 25 million, but then that was put on hold because they were worried about Fabregas maybe going to Inter.
Yeah.
And then they signed somebody else, and since then it's all gone dead.
Yeah, it's going to be another loan for Peroni.
Good old Alan. Well, what's Alan doing? Has Alan done something?
We're only allowed about 10 loans, though, aren't we? There's actually a cap on the number of loans, so we can't.
6 loans.
Yeah, so we can't loan a lot of these players. We're not going to be able to loan out. We're either going to have to pay them off or find someone who buys them.
Yeah.
You're only allowed 6 loans over the age of 21. You can have as many as you want under the age of 21.
Okay, over 21, yeah. So
21 or over. See, Stevie said I keep Gundo, he scores goals. That Gundo one really has sent a lot of people. A lot of people are a bit like, Dash, as long as the main geezer in the door by Wolves transfer can take the back seat. Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm enjoying what we've got at the minute. I look at it and I'm thinking, other than a right back, I don't see where else we need right now. I think we're being a bit overkill if you need anybody else at this point.
Yep, I agree. I think we just need a right back. Hopefully we get Romano, and yeah, we'll sort it.
I will do, Daniel. Guys, genuine question, Rich, Pat. Other than a right back, do we need anyone else? Really?
not really. Not with the squad we've got at the moment. Yeah, if Edison's staying and things like that, then apart from a right back, there's no glaring miss.
Yeah, not until other players start moving, then there's nothing initially right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's there's not much to talk about right now because I really don't think it'll kick off for another week or so. Once the whole July rolls over and then whole new contracts reset and everything like that, I think that's when they'll start seeing more business. But also too, I would not be surprised if City don't want to do any business until their participation in the Club World Cup is concluded.
Is Alan doing a Twitter space? Is he taking the piss out of me?
Hey, who's doing a space?
Sent Alan the bloody link, cheeky sod. Yeah, by the way, Jay Fresh did message me. He said he was very impressed with Foden. So big up, Jay. He did message me. Yeah, Lee Walker is great in the net. Jesus. Okay, right, can we all be doing this? Sir Alan doing a Twitter space. See you later. Oh dear. He has reactivated his 1 year loan, however, Comar attempting to buy him. There you go.
Yeah, he's probably doing a Twitter space on the last night of the proms or something.
Well, I did send him the link for the show. Cheeky little sod.
Well, man, I just want to say thanks for having me on, man. I'm going to head out, man. But
he's off to the space now. He's off to
no,
the
I'm
space.
generally not. I'm not going to join the space. I have a couple of things I got to do at home. But
no, big up, fun, mate. Speak to you soon, mate.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye now.
See you, mate.
I feel bad now, Pat, that I said about 10 minutes ago I've got to go in 15, so Martin's going to think I'm off to join Alan's space.
Yeah, right, we'll do 10 more minutes and then we'll call it. Bloody hell.
I'm going to start a Twitter account so I can jump in.
Do you know, we get up, we do watch-alongs at 2
Get Elliot on for a few minutes. You don't want falling him into the black hole of misery that's Alan's Twitter space.
Jesus Christ!
I don't think he'd know how. I don't think he'd know how to start one, to be honest.
I mean, the one thing is, we do need to sort this goalkeeping situation out because that seems to be just we cannot allow Edison to go into this with 12 months ago. So I would say new media team. Oh, by the way, I hope you feel better soon, Bevo. I would say right back, and we need to sort Edison out, or the goalkeeping situation out. And I'd say we've got, you're still in 23rd of June. Plenty of time. Like, Craig said, needs to send a right back, so that's it. I think we sort the keeper out. We buy right back. We are absolutely good to go. Good to go. I think it's a 10 out of 10 window then. Ed says win the tournament and pay people off. Bloody hell, Ed. Ed, you can't just chuck 30 million to Bernardo and pay him out the door and 30 million to bloody hell, Ed. That does go on your PSR as well, you know, Ed. Paying people off does go on to it. Big up, Blue. How are you, Blue? Annie Briggsy, do you know me, mate? Need a bite? What? Are you two all right? Are you two still hungover? You look like you're just not with it here. You two look like you just... Are you gone?
No.
Was it a heavy night?
I was just listening to Alan's Twitter space.
He's not even doing one.
He is. He's got a Twitter space about the 1950s and how great it was.
Oh my god, he's not even doing one. So stop.
He's just doing a session on how it was better. How it was better when Frank Swift was in goal, and you could whistle a tune.
I'm the only one of these fucking spaces see Billy Meredith,
and he's got
Vera Lynn when I see it.
He's got Vera Lynn playing quietly in the background. It's quite beautiful. It is quite beautiful. And nightingales sang in Allen Square.
The what? You can tell Alan's no longer watching because he's not even in the chat anymore. He's disappeared. Get Elliot on. Yeah. Hide you right. What? The transfer window should close as the season starts. Well, no. Foden's past performance actually calmed me down a lot. I was desperate to see him come back and thought it would take 6 months. Good seeing him, very lively. Yeah, well, by the way, I will say, you never know what goes on in a person's life. And then it came out in that interview that his brother has got autism and his mother is a full-time carer for him. And he's had to get a carer in for his mum. It's amazing what goes on in people's private lives, isn't it?
Yes, it was quite, lovely to see what a down to earth.
Look at Ed.
Really.
Ed, we need to chat here, mate. What are you doing? Ed, come on. I'm going to send you the link. Ed, you're getting angry here. What's up with you, Ed?
I think Ed's missing the point. I think we're saying the exact opposite of what Ed's saying. We're being completely rational, talking about the numbers and the facts. And that is that you cannot just tell people to go pay out contracts and stuff because financially it doesn't work for your club. So I think we see from Chelsea, what pretending to be ruthless does. You have players on the last week of the season that you're paying 300 grand to, and you loan them to someone else who pays them 70 grand a week. Yeah, Chelsea paid, was it 20 million for Sterling to be loaned to Arsenal? That's what being ruthless does. It completely screws you. He was still like their fifth highest earner or something last season on loan at someone else.
Alan is going to Newcastle, mate, so you need to end that one. Jack just said pay off Calvin Phillips. No, you can pay up. Well, you're going to have to. Or what you'll have to do is loan him. You're going to have to loan him and pay some of his wages. You're not going to loan Bernardo Silva out. Steve says keep Echeverri looks class. Martin, like I said, we've got to be calm and relaxed. There's plenty of time. Bevo's not well, that's why he's not on. Make sure he gets better. You got to get Blue. Whoa, what we doing here? What's up with everyone here? Ortega seemed unsure. I haven't seen the Ortega post-match interview. No, Craig. Ed's talking about just cancelling the contract up and then just paying them off. That's what we're saying. You can't do, Craig. There's no way you're going to be able to just pay off Phillips, Bernardo, Gundogan, and then and Grealish and pay them off the contract the last year. Ed's not talking about selling them. Ed's talking about just paying them off, cancelling the contract and getting rid. That's what Ed's on about. As you know, complete
16 million
different
book value for Calvin Phillips. That's pretty generous.
Well, he's on what, 150 grand a week, times that by 12 plus his cancellation fee, because there will be compensation given. You can't do that for everyone.
Martin, there's 52 weeks in the year, not 12.
12 months.
Yeah.
I'd say 12 weeks.
Yeah, he said 150 grand a week times 12. It's 150 grand a week times
150 grand a week times 52, yeah. Then
yeah. Plus, you know,
Jack,
be
stop that.
8K.
Jack, stop that. Stop that now, Jack. Please. Don't do that. No, don't give me opinions crap. That's not happening that way.
But Martin, he's making a point that
he's not a footballer.
No, Foden isn't different. Foden's normal, and he has the normal problems that normal people have in life.
My sister has Down syndrome. My mum and dad have Alzheimer's. I can't do this job fully. I've had to quit my job. And that's where I will kick back on, because I've had to give up my job, Rich, to do that.
Yeah, we know that. But what I'm saying is that to expect Foden to just be able to not have any reaction to that is unrealistic. Foden's a human being like the rest of us, and Foden may earn a lot of money, which means he can do things that you or Jack or anyone else can't. But mentally, and still, Elliot's,
I think you got to be careful with stuff like that, Jack.
Yes, yeah.
You got to be careful with that, because that, like I said, I've had to give up my job because of that situation. People are you got to be careful, Jack, with comments like that.
Yeah, I've got to drop in 2 minutes. So
if we cancelled their contract, then it's around 120 million that comes out of PSR. Yes, that's the point I'm making. Jack, I'm not trying to be angry. I'm just saying you've got to be careful with comments like that, mate.
Yeah,
can't just go, oh well, get on with it.
I've got to drop now, Martin.
Yeah, I know. Ed's coming up. By the way, I will say this. Take care, Rich. We'll see you Thursday night.
Thank you. See you soon. Yeah.
See you, Rich.
See ya.
No, Jack, he doesn't have a point. I disagree. Because, Jack, again, for me, I've had to give up my job, Jack. So, yes, it does affect you. It really does. So no, I don't agree with that. And also, I know what Jack said privately to me as well, which I won't go into. So yes, that's an agenda coming out there. Big up, hello, Julia. How the devil are you? So no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. No, I don't think he does have a point, Jack West, because I'm in the exact same situation. So when you unless you are in it, you don't know what it does. By the way, while we're on that, Michael Feeney has not been on. I know people have asked about it. I have had an update, but I won't go into it. But he may not be on for a while. Thoughts and prayers are with Michael Feeney at this sad time. I will not go into it. It's not my place. But big up to you, mate. I will message you later. I tried to get back to everyone's email. Might have to give up his. No, I had to give up my. I know you're on a job, mate. I had to give up my job in school. I've had to run my notice in because of it. Julie, thank you for renewing for 2 years. Appreciate that. Big up yourself. Big up yourself.
Is Julie our first 2-year member?
No, we've had a few, but big up Julie. Okay. But Jack, different problems affect people in different ways. Someone's problems are worse than other people's problems. Come on. I don't think we should judge people on that. Let people deal with it in their own way. But if people want to be cold-hearted and everything else and callous, that's up to them. Yeah, but I mentioned it, but it affects my time on air, Jack. I can't do this properly because of what goes on the outside. So, yes, it does affect you. It does. I'm late for shows. I can't make shows because I've got to go to hospital. That's what I'm saying. That's where I will bite back on it. Not everyone can afford the help, Jack. I can't afford help. I have 2 parents with Alzheimer's and a sister with Down syndrome, and I cannot afford errors for 3 people in one house. And to put them in care homes, it goes to 3 different people. So again, Jack, you gotta understand the situation. Let's not do this. Please stop judging everyone. Come on. Ed, good evening, mate. How are you? Right, come on. You want to wreck our PSR. Let's get into this.
I'm saying with the money we're getting from the tournament, if we do go far, wouldn't I be able to offset with PSR? Wouldn't I be able to offset it?
No, because you still, that money you cancel goes onto your PSR.
But no, wouldn't the funds from the tournament also go into your PSR?
Depends what
possibly, but you don't get the payout in one go, do you, Martin? Like it's like Champions League money, for example. It all gets paid in increments over a certain length of time.
It might not all go on transfer kitters.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that could be. I mean,
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And I just, and I don't know, like, I understand this is a business, and at the same time, I know our fan base are very protective of our players, and I know we have a certain way. We don't like our players to be treated a certain way, but I think the same could go from players to the club at the same time. And like all of these players has given us so many memories, but at the same time, if the club has to put a player on the reserves or drops a player to the EDS, I'm not going to be going at the club because players are choosing to stay.
But why who's choosing to stay then in your eyes?
Who's choosing to stay? I mean, you mentioned this player last night, Gundogan.
Right.
35 years old on 200-something K a week.
So, say Galatasaray come in, offer him £100,000 a week, and his wife don't want to move to Turkey.
And like I said, it depends on what, and we don't know what Pep thoughts are. He doesn't know who he wants to keep, who he doesn't want to keep. But at the same time, if we're saying so-and-so needs playing time to improve, and then our loan spots are taken up, that's putting the club in a tough situation.
But did Pep not pre-warn us on that, Ed, a little bit? Because remember what Pep did? Was it an interview, correct me if I'm wrong, about a month ago? Was it after the Fulham game when he said, because Pep said there won't be much movement, and this is, I know we have moved since, but he did say my first season it was different because I had 5 or 6 players out of contract. This season I haven't.
Yeah, because if we go back to that, Martin, I mean,
Sanya, Kolarov, Zabaleta, Kolarov.
Sorry, you mean after his first season? After that first season,
he had
Sanya, Kolarov, Clichy.
That was the other one. There was a few contracts.
Zabaleta. It was like 3/4 of our defense. 3/4 of our defensive fullbacks were on the way out.
Bevel's more interested in that shiny gold badge than he is about anything. He's like, I just want the badge for 4 years.
Some people like the badge, some people don't like the badge.
That's why I'm waiting to get the sash kit. In case if we do win it, then I want that gold badge.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because, like, for example, Calvin Phillips, you got to have a buyer or you loan him. But then it comes down to the loan fee and what. So, for example, say like Birmingham City are interested in Calvin Phillips, he's on 150 a week. Say Birmingham say we only want to pay 75k. City are lumped in with 75k of that. Yeah. Then Jack Grealish comes in, £300,000 a week, and a new team only wants to pay £125,000 a week. City are lumped with the other 175.
But see, that's the thing too. Do you think it's better to do those type of loans, or is it better to
No.
Lower your evaluation on the player and sell them out the way?
It depends what the PSR profit is on the books
Hmm.
and what you've amortized. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, good afternoon, Danielle. Jack Grealish is like, is it anything above 40, 45 is pure profit? Something like that.
Above 33 to 35, I believe.
It's something like that. The trouble is, people aren't walking away over the fee, Ed, they're walking away over the wages. Because Jack Grealish has no right. Jack Grealish doesn't have to cancel his contract down. He doesn't have. He's locked in legally into whatever is it, another 2 years at $300,000 a week. He can say, "No, you sign me up on that contract. I want the money." What you'll find is City pay him on the back end. So say he left and goes and gets $150,000 a week at a new club. Grealish can say, "I want my 2 years of my other 150 on the back end of it." So it's like, you remember Fernandinho when he first come in? Fernandinho had to pay some of his own, out of his own pocket to get the deal done. Do you remember Otamendi? Otamendi took, and Ed's just come off camera. He's not. Otamendi, that deal got delayed because Otamendi had to pay. He was asking for money out of Manchester City on the way out. He's just having a dog issue at the minute. This is the problem. We don't know what the contract's tied up on and what it as Danielle, we knew spoke about this a long time, and good afternoon, is have they front ended it or have they back ended the deal on the amortization? This is what we don't know. And Craig and Elliot and people like that will know what I mean by that. It depends whether we front end or back loaded it. Danielle, are you there? Danielle?
Yeah, I'm right here.
But you know what I mean by that, don't you? It depends on we front loaded or back loaded it, and we're not privy to which one it is.
That is correct. Depending, certain players may have different terms that are set based off of how their agency and representatives may want to have the contract structured, or even what flexibility they're willing to give City. Some players prefer, let's say, to be paid certain period within the fiscal year. Other ones are more in line to get paid for when the club has it structured. So as fans, we don't have that information, and so you send somebody out, like you just mentioned, Jack Grealish. He may want, or this is the part that's also sometimes not mentioned, even if he goes out on loan, City still have an obligation to cover, let's say, a portion of those wages. They're also obligated, based off of team performance and how that contract is structured, to pay out the bonuses regardless of whether the player is on the team or not. So let's say you send him out on loan and you have a successful season, you win the title, and let's say he's at Everton or Tottenham. You still have to pay him what that contract says. So you're going to pay one way or the other. So you're at the mercy of the player wanting to give you a little bit of flexibility, but then also the club that's taking him to eat a good chunk of the wages as well, to give you flexibility depending on how those wages are structured on the front end or on the back end. And again, we don't know. So that's sometimes like why, like you said, Martin, why a transfer may be delayed, or why a transfer may be fast tracked. Some agencies are really good at working with the clubs, and other ones with players with big contracts on some pretty high wages. I'm sorry, long contracts on some high wages. The agencies are in no rush to try to do you any favor whatsoever to get that transfer, even if it's a loan, to go through at all. And we have to accept it for what it is and just wait for it to play out.
Yeah, this is, and also, Ed, you're looking at, we're only on the 23rd of June. Things may develop more in July when the new PSR line comes in. Because you look, is it Bournemouth? Correct me if I'm wrong. Haven't Bournemouth moved their PSR books around. So I'm sure it's Bournemouth. I may be wrong on that, but I have read.
We had several clubs move their books around just to.
Well, they moved it
PSR
to get
regulation.
in line. Yeah, to get into line for more. And the problem is, if you were loaning an O'Reilly maybe, Ed, or you're loaning a Calvin who's only on 150, I think you might be able to get away with that a bit. You're talking Bernardo, Gundo, Jack. It was some of the highest earners in the place. And the other side of the coin is Pep still wants to keep them, especially Gundo. Pep's not keen on Gundo going out the door. Because here's the thing, where'd you get that experience again? You allowed John Stones, Gundo all out, and Bernardo all out. You've not got the experience. You are basically, I know it's new and we're doing the rebuild, but KDB's gone, Bernardo's gone, Gundo's gone, Stones is gone. Where's your experience anywhere?
But this is some of my issues though. If some of these players aren't reliable, what is that experience giving us?
But it depends what, again, this issue last season is what do we mean by, was the reliability last season because of amount of games, injuries, or not having enough rotational situations? Now we've got rotation. Is Gundo better now where he plays 2 games in 4 weeks than he does playing a game every 3 days?
But Martin, we talked about this before, like players, but at the same times, players will then also complain because they're being rotated.
Well, that's what Pep said. Pep said this. He says, because Pep's actually clarified his words now. He said, I'll go with the big squad. It's not me. It's the players that I know. He's already said they're going to knock on my door. They're going to come bitching at me, and they're going to say, I'm not playing.
Yeah. Because we forget, yes, it's the 25-man squad, but every match day, what is it? You've got 11 players on the pitch.
20.
11 players on the pitch. How many subs are you allowed? What, 9?
9, but you can only make 5.
So
you're only allowed a 20-man squad.
Yeah. So there's going to be the best part of 5, half a dozen lads that are going to be sitting at home, fully fit and wanting to play.
Not only are you going to rotate
the number, never mind 25.
But you're not only going to rotate your 11, you've got to rotate your bench.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So does it take a game or two? I don't know how far. I know it's September 1st. I don't know how many games we played at. Does it take a game or two for some people to realize that you're going to be left home? I don't know. Right?
All right, then. John Stones is in the last year of his contract. Would you rather a I'm trying to word this in the best way. John Stones with us nearly 10 years. When John Stones is fit, would you say he's a very good asset to the football team? When fit, and I know you're going to say, when's that? I agree with you. Is he an asset?
Yeah. Well, let me answer your question with a question. Why did you wait for Rich to leave before asking this question?
Because we've only just got to that topic. We'll take this another time. I promise you. That's not because Rich is gone. No, but that's my thing. If Gundo, I'm going to sound really harsh here. If Jack Grealish stays, is he an asset? Not really. At the minute.
If you're looking at it right now,
when he's fit,
in the moment, no. Yeah.
When Gundogan and Stones are fit, they play and they bring something to the team. At the minute, Jack's not. Calvin Phillips is not. Kyle Walker is not. I don't put Bernardo, Stones, and Gundogan in the same category as Calvin Phillips, Kyle Walker.
No.
That's what I mean.
But this is why the club is in a tough position too, because yes, those players give something to the team, but some of them aren't consistent anymore. And then also you have top talent that you're trying to develop and also keep happy.
Again, this is what I said about, and Danielle, you know this, and part of bed 1,000 times. You want the youth movement of academy or do you want to spend money? Because you can't.
Oh,
have
not
both.
even, but even Martin, I'm not even worried about the academy. You know how I feel about the academy.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Oscar Bob.
I'm talking about the top young talent that we're buying, that we're spending 30, 40, 50 million on. And if you're keeping some of these guys, are those players developing? Are those players happy? Because those are our future.
Okay, then. Would you, if you're Victor Hayes, you stay a year, you learn, and you know John Stones, Gundo, and Bernardo were all gone in a year's time?
But is he even going to be part of the match day squad?
No, but this is my point. Is this because City have been proactive and they're thinking a year or two down the line, and they're thinking, are fans looking at this in a short termism more than long termism, or even medium term?
Well, if you want to use Victor Hayes as an example, then that's sort of the club seem to be putting the ball in Victor Hayes' court, where they're saying, right, we want you're part of our plans for this season. You may not be the first choice centre back every week, but it's up to you to continue training and be on the top of your game, playing when I need you to, and things like that. Because once John Stones goes out the door, maybe another year or two, maybe another centre back or two goes out the door as well. Are you going to be ready to take over what they were doing? Because then if you're not, then we'll look at selling it.
That's slightly different. I think if Gundo and Bernardo were out of contract, they would be ruthless. They're not out of contract. We need to stop comparing KDB to Bernardo and Gundogan. They're under contract. KDB was not under contract. He was out of contract. So they can do. If Bernardo and Gundo were out of contract, they don't renew. I think this is Bernardo and Gundo's last year if they stay.
Yeah. But to Pat's point, I think promises will have to be made, Pat, because we've all seen a season could be a long time for a player to.
So I'm saying because promises are made now, but I think they're empty promises. Because
promises were made to McAtee last season.
Exactly. So I'm looking. If I'm a Hayes, I'm looking at O'Reilly. I'm looking at McAtee, and now I'm also hearing Kusanov might be going out the door. So for a player to sit there for a season is a long time, and then for other clubs to also get in contact with that player for a full season.
By the way, Adam, a couple of things. Adam has gifted 1, 2, 3 channel memberships. Big up yourself, Adam. Say thank you. You have got them. Big up yourself, Adam, mate. Adam has got his own channel. Go and show him a lot of love. I will stick the link in the description.
Is there actual?
And FIFA has renewed for a 19th month. So big up yourself, guys. Thank you so much for your very kind generosity. Go on, Daniel.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. There's actually talk about sending Kusanov out?
It's from the media over in the US. Because I think, when everyone thought it was Victor Hayes who was going, Daniel, Pep looks at Victor Hayes as more of a City player than a Kusanov, if that makes sense. Kusanov's got a major future at the club. It's more of who's more ready to play in the Pep system right now.
It's funny because people talk about how we signed Victor Hayes because they didn't want the rest of Europe to try and sign him. I feel like Kusanov might be the same. I think we wanted to get him through the door before the possibility of losing him.
Yeah, listen, I don't think Kusanov goes anywhere. But then you're stuck with, because here's the other side of the coin. What happens if John Stones and Aki don't get injured? Like some miracle, they don't.
We're right back at square one.
You are stuck then. Because the thing is, I look at Kusanov and I look at Victor Hayes, and like House Captain's just put, they're not even the same type of defender. But one is an absolute brute, baller of an old-fashioned guy. Victor Hayes is more of a pass it out from the back. That's why Pep was going to look at him as using him as a CDM because of his passing ability. You wouldn't put Kusanov in the CDM role. Jesus, you'd be getting red cards galore in that situation. So that's all I'm saying. That's not a dig. I think they're very different. Big up Bevo, by the way, for gifting the one. Appreciate that. You want any more? Bebo, not in my lifetime, Luke. Alex and the gang, get over there, show them a lot of love.
I think
Go on,
then you
Daniel.
have to make an uncomfortable decision. One of the vets needs to go. And
which is why we've got Viana in, because there's no sentimentality.
I
There you
like
go. You need a buyer.
I like John Stones, but his problem is the injuries. With 1 year, it would have to be with an obligation to buy, and then Stones would have to agree to a contract prior or to some agreement.
He's out of contract, so it won't be an obligation to buy Danny Elks as a free.
Well, that's true, but it would have to be a wink, wink, like I am agreeing to leave to get loaned to Club X. Sorry, and this club is bringing me in with the idea that I'm going to probably get another 1+1 deal. Because why would he go somewhere where? Why would he go somewhere where he could potentially then leave within a year? He'd want to go there at least have 2 years of staying, some consistency to get a run. Because the World Cup is next year, so he's not going to up and move his family 12 months in a row unless he knows that there's some idea that he's going to stay there. But I think you're going to have to make an uncomfortable decision because the two
That's
kids.
what I'm saying. Is it easier to loan a youngster out? And when I say youngster, I don't mean youngster as in kid. I mean, is it easier to do a Victor Hayes or a Kushnoff out for a year?
It is.
Stones is gone.
It is, but my fear is like you always say with the sign.
They don't come back.
Don't come back, and because things are so fluid, the club might change his mind. I mean, let's just say we loan them both out or one of them out. We go into the season and then the realization is, well, maybe we don't actually need another young developing center back. Maybe we actually need to go target somebody that's a little bit more mature.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Danielle.
Yeah.
And we've been too proactive.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes. I mean, in a way, yes. So did the board overreact? If you ask me, I'd say yes. Was it a proper overreaction? Yes. The situation called for that. But now you are where you are because it's not just the center backs. Where's Nico G going to play? Because if most of the midfielders are healthy, I mean, he's going to be rotating, and most of the guys that he's going to be rotating in front, I'm not assuming that they're going to be rotating at 45 minutes per game. It's probably going to be minute 70.
Big up, exactly.
Minute 60. Is Nico G going to be happy with those minutes? I don't know. Or what if it's an instance where Pep just does not make substitutions, does not rotate because he wants to go with the best hand that's available, which is the guys that are not conceding goals and that are scoring goals? What do you do then? You've got a 50 million pound player that is on the bench. He's got what? Is it a 5-year or 6-year deal with him? With Nico G, you can't loan that out.
5,
yeah.
5.5.
Yeah, you can't loan it out. I mean, and if he'll probably give it a year or two, but I think after the second year, if he's not starting consistently or being rotated consistently, I think he's going to leave as well. So
that's what I'm saying. This is the problem now. We've been proactive, and I get it, but this is why I kept saying we can't keep doing this. Bye. But then we want the youth. But then we want it. It's now got to a point where we're so there. It is. We've been proactive, and what I mean by proactive is Kushnoff and Hayes. Are they just the replacements for Stones? And we've come a year earlier. Do you understand what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't sell Stone. I'm not saying don't. Have we done our business?
You could even say they're replacements for Akanji and Ake, because the year after Stones is meant to leave, they'll be out the door too. So you got 3 defenders leaving in the space of 12 months.
Yeah.
What's Ake's contract and Akanji's contract? What's
27.
2027.
27.
Both of them.
2020?
But that's what I'm saying though. I think the club thought, and maybe this comes back to the whole sentimentality, that some of these players would be willing to go for the club's sake, and they haven't.
That City takes care of them way too good.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Citizen, think
I mean,
about this way.
But there's
You
Sorry,
could
man.
tell. Sorry, Gundo and Bernardo yesterday. If they perform like that, do you drop them?
No, I listen. I would get rid
That's
of
the thing.
Gundo.
Do
I
you
get rid
drop
of
them?
Gundo. I get rid of Gundo. I know Pep loves him, and he's clearly trying to prove something that he can still play. And he's played well in preseason, or Club World Cup. Cut your
Do you think
losses.
the players are hurt? Do you think they're hurt? Because I keep saying this.
Yeah.
Players read all this.
Yeah. What
They
did
read
Bernardo
all
say?
this.
What did Bernardo say? They act like we became old overnight. When did
Yeah.
30 become old?
When we're calling the monks, Bernardo and Gundo are sat in the dress. Do you not think Highland or someone's walked up to them and gone, "You're right, Unk"?
Yeah,
Taking
but,
a piss.
but Martin, it also goes back to the thing that the players are oftentimes they're the first ones that know when the situation is changing. I mean, they can see it. You're bringing in young guys, players that are younger than you, can run more than you. Well, outside of Bernardo, but younger guys that can run more than you. They're younger. They're on longer contracts, so the writing's on the wall. They're bringing a different movement. Do you want to leave? I mean, they're well taken care of, well paid. Do they want to leave? Do they want to poke their agent and say, go find me a club that wants to pay me close to what I'm capable of accepting? Some guys just don't want to do that, and some of them want to prove a point. Gundo wants to prove a point. Bernardo may want to prove a point, but if it's in
like
the
Guno said, like Guno said, he said I feel like I can play at a top level for several more seasons. Now that's not going to be at Man City.
Yeah, and again, he's trying to prove something. Like Martin said, they heard, but if it's in the best interest of the club in this transition that we're going to go, they're both captains, okay? So they both clearly care about the club and the other players. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for the other guy? That's my question, and I would say no, they're not, because players are selfish. So if that's the case, the decision needs to be put, I think, in Viana and Pep, because I think if you leave Pep to it, and he says that he struggles with them staying at home in the stands, I take that with a grain of salt. I think if he has the choice between his guys and the guys that just got there, whether they're young or 22, 23, he'll go with his guys. Because that's who won with him. And I don't blame him. But you have to take that. You have to force him to make that decision and just say, John Stones is not in our plans. We have an offer for Gundogan. It's good. The player's willing to accept, but he wants to
Has
wait.
he said that? Because he did say, when he got asked about Gundogan, he says he's here, but it's also down to the club. I think he does realise that he's down to the club as well, a little bit. So I think by them comments, that tells me Pep's been told, yeah, he's here, but he may get sold.
Well, but think about it, Martin. Let's just assume that he doesn't leave. If you're Reinders, are you ever going to feel comfortable not looking over your shoulder, knowing that if you do make a mistake, he's gonna bring in the?
Do we not want that though?
We do.
Daniela,
but
you want that competition. Look at what Arsenal do with Saka, for example. They're not willing to put a player in to compete against him in that particular position. And what happens? Arteta overplays him, and now he's constantly getting injuries all the time. You need that healthy competition in every position.
I want competition, but I want competitions of players within the same timeline. They're not on the same timeline. You got a 35-year-old competing with a 23 and a 26-year-old. That's hard. You need to give that 23 and 26-year-old every bit of an opportunity to prove that he belongs. Otherwise, you made a mistake and now you're going to try and rectify it. And oh yeah, the other guy that let's say you do decide to go with is going to continue to get older and the contract's out. So you have to go with the younger player, and it's
Well,
hard and it's uncomfortable, but it's just the reality. You have to cut the
yeah,
losses.
and fair play, and I get what you're saying too, but hasn't that been the sort of routine for the last 8 years since Pep's been here? You got to think like 2016, we brought in Leroy Sané, didn't play a lot in his first season. Then when that Centurions came in, players went out the door. He was a regular on that left-hand side all the time. Bernardo Silva, first season was the Centurions, didn't play a lot. Again, once other players went out the door and the formation started to change, then we saw him come into his true character in the formidable season as well. Rodri, for example, was plodging in his first season. As soon as Fernandinho got a little bit too old to play every single day, that's when he took over. So the idea, I get what you're saying. The idea is good. We want competition, but is it going to be a case of like Younks versus the ones we want to play regularly as well? But I think at the end of the day, it's like the philosophy at the club has always been that when the new player comes in, we are willing to give them 12 to 18 months to bed in, because you can't cold start new signings the second the old ones start coming out. So you need that sensible sort of rotation in a way of like age over experience over fitness. It's just a constantly moving. The wheel's just constantly moving when it comes to that, and that's how it's constantly been able to function at its best over the last few years.
I hear that, but like you guys were talking earlier, there've been decisions that were made, rightfully so, but they had consequences, and then as a result of the market as well. We normally buy in the summer, not during the January window. And we've never bought this many players in the January window. And oh, yeah, we brought one player back who we were assuming wasn't going to come back. And then the amount of money or the clubs willing to buy some of the players, it changed. The Saudi clubs are not moving the way that they were. And there's a ripple effect to that. So if Saudis, let's say, aren't throwing money to the La Liga clubs or the Serie A clubs, those clubs are not going to sell the players as quickly as they want to. They're going to try and find a market that is feasible for them. In some cases, the players are going to hold out and say, I'm not going to move for an overpay if I like living in Italy. You got the Teo Hernandez situation. The goalkeeper for, what's his name? I think it's Al Ittihad, the one that was linked to Ederson. That goalkeeper got hurt, and I think he's out for another 2 or 3 months. And the club says that they're still looking for a goalkeeper, but that's also a goalkeeper that won you the title. So there's some rumors there. It's like, okay, the club's not really trying to go and get an out and out Ederson overpay, because he's not going to come cheap either, when you've got a proven commodity that's going to be back in 2 months. So then the money that you thought was going to be there is not there. The players that you thought were going to move aren't going to move. And oh, yeah, you made a decision 6 months ahead of time for how you stack the players coming in versus going out. Again, I feel like it hurt you, even though your positive intent was to try and make sure that you made Champions League for the financial repercussions there, but it puts you in a very difficult situation. Young guys that need playing time, old guys that don't want to, I'm going to call them old, vets that don't want to necessarily leave, and a manager that still has an emotional tie to them because he knows what those players are capable of doing. I don't fault them, but you have to do what's in the best interest of the club.
And also along with that, right? Like when Gundo leaves, it's not like we're not going to buy. So
right.
now it's like you got Gundo, who we're saying compete with, but also we're talking about bringing in a Morgan Gibbs White who's 26 years old. And now it's like players aren't the same anymore. As soon as a player feels uncomfortable, as soon as a player feels like he's not in the plans, they ask to leave.
Well, and go one step further. So now you've got two
And the
players
market
that,
isn't the same anymore either.
yeah, you got two players that you want to potentially move, let's just say. They're both distressed for two different reasons. John Stones' value is distressed because of his injury record. Jack Grealish's value is distressed based off of performance. You're trying to convince other people to take two players that you've told in one way, I don't think he can play for me. So you're going to have to convince them to take those wages. The other guy, we don't know whether we can count on him, but oh yeah, here you go. They're going to be asking the same question. We don't know whether we can count on him. If I'm Everton and I have a young center back that's also a little bit injury prone, why would I bring in John Stones, who's also injury prone? If I'm Tottenham and I have a new coach and I need to hit the ground running, why would I bring in Jack Grealish to wait and see if he has a renaissance season? It's not my job to fix Jack Grealish. It's my job to win. So now you're Jack Grealish and City, you're trying to find a situation where he can find a home where he could be the best version of Jack Grealish, and those clubs don't feel like they're getting a distressed asset like Calvin Phillips. How many loans is he on now? 2? He's distressed. Bad performances on the 2 teams that he was loaned out to. So the third team that you're going to take him to, you're going to have to eat those wages. And oh yeah, convince them, and Phillips has convincing them and himself that it's a good move for him. And if they don't agree in, let's say, 1 or 2 of those, you're stuck with the players. So they're going to be sitting in the stands.
Calvin Phillips is a bit of an interesting one, I think. I think we're thankful that Leeds have obviously come up, because that probably gives us a strong option in terms of what we want to do.
They moved away from it. They're not.
Well, what I was getting to, Martin, was possibly, rather than saying they're going to buy him, which I mean we'd all prefer, but would they look at the possibility of a loan with an option to buy if they stay up?
Nope, they don't even want to loan him. They can't afford his wages.
Okay. Which is funny, because
Ipswich
paid all of his money, all of his wages last season. I don't think they
where
had the same
Calvin
payroll
Phillips
as
is looking at Birmingham.
Birmingham?
Yeah, because they want to make a splash in the Championship.
I mean, we'd have to chew up at least half his wages, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Good evening, Alan, by the way.
Hi, how are you?
What's up, Alan?
Alan.
Lord Alan.
Well, you sent me an invite half an hour before it came out, and I woke up at 7 o'clock for the stream, so I do apologise if I was supposed to.
No worries.
That's all right, mate. You just finished your Twitter space, didn't you?
Hey, I don't do Twitter space. The only Twitter space I go on is Martin's. I do Martin's, that's it.
Listen, I think it's not going to be easy. I agree. What we're in at the minute is not easy at all.
It's pure speculation now until we actually see the wheels start.
Yeah,
and it's not going to happen. I don't think it'll happen for at least a week until after.
It's only the 23rd
until after we're finished in the tournament.
Yeah.
See, there's rumours Kovacic could be fit. Now we don't know it. Kovacic might be the one who goes, and Gundo stays. I'm all right with that, you know. If Kovacic is the guy you can get money for, who's still got 2 years left, because you're going to get more money for Kovacic than what you would for Gundo, and Gundo stays for a year, and then that's Kovacic gone and Gundo gone, and then you can bring in a Gibbs Whitehead.
I just think that nothing apart from speculation is going to happen until this tournament is finished.
Yeah, until the tournament.
And then we'll see what they've got planned after that. I think you just got to trust the people in charge. Yes, it's difficult with players that've got a high wage. That is the biggest problem. Since players are on big wages, and to get rid of them, we're going to have to pay part of the wages or pay them up. That is the biggest issue that we've got, because we pay more than most clubs, apart from Man United, who pay probably slightly more. So
that's what they're trying to change, Alan. They're trying to get the wage down.
Yeah, I think it's quite right as well, because we can't keep on doing this and having a problem with players just staying at the club for all the money, like a Calvin Phillips, for argument's sake. I think
you got to be careful. Calvin Phillips was a
mistake.
Was that our problem, or was that Calvin's? Because at the end of the day, Calvin.
It's our problem. At the end of the day,
I disagree. This is where I disagree, Alan. Because Calvin Phillips and me, at the time, was one of the best midfielders.
Yeah, I was happy. Listen, when they signed him,
all hyped for it. Yeah.
When they signed him, I was happy with it, and it's just not worked out at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's fine. Things don't always work out. I understand that, but at the time, Calvin Phillips was wanted by United, Liverpool, and everyone. It wasn't just City made a mess up.
Yeah, I agree. We were all pretty happy. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's staying around because he wants the wages. That's fine. I can understand that. We'll just have to see what happens. You know,
and we got into this position because we won so much, right? Like a lot of these players are on big money is because we won so much. And this happens to any team that wins a lot. Right? Like Real Madrid, when they won all the Champions League in a row and had all those players, it hit them, it hurt them.
Yeah. Well, it's a product of that success. When players succeed, they start with that sort of base contract, you know, between 100, 150. And then if they exceed their targets or, you know, become great players, then 2 years' time, that's when we give them the 300 grand, the 250, 300K.
Yeah.
Because they've earned it. But we got to understand that if we do that, we have to accept the fact that we are expecting them to commit to the club for the rest of their contract. Because we go in there with every player, I think nearly every player with an intention of hoping that they're going to be there for 10 years. Age permitting, of course. Yeah, but that's just how we work. We don't expect players to go on to bigger clubs or move around for big money and that unless they feel that, you know, they're sort of their career at the club is going to be hindered. Alvarez is a prime example of that, and I totally understand that. But that's how we work. We intend to keep them for 10 years, so then we get the best out of them, and then if they don't, we make huge profits on them.
You can understand Alvarez going to Atletico. He wanted to play the main striker, and I fully get that. And I agree. I actually agreed with him.
Yeah,
he had sit behind Haaland was not the right thing for him.
I agree with you, Alan, too, because unanimously, it was across all parties. Everybody was happy with that signing. Yeah, Atletico loved it, and we loved it because of the return on money we got, return on profit. Yeah. Very rare to get those.
I think, you know, at the end of the day, I hope he does well, and he seems to be enjoying it and playing good football there. So good on him. That's what I say.
Did you know Cheeky was out in the Club World Cup, by the way?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see him.
He's actually out there. Lost like Daniel. Yeah, he's actually out there.
What's he doing out there? He's just supporting the team, or?
Well, obviously this was yesterday. I will just get you this because this was on the.
I hope he's on the lookout for a right fullback.
This was on the Echeverry free kick yesterday. Let me find it.
At the end of the day, I want them to certainly sign a right fullback. Definitely, they need one.
This was yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And as you can see up there, there's the Echeverry free kick. Hugo Biano, Chica, Soriano. And then obviously
is he still working till the end of the year or not?
No, but he's retired now. We can go with. Look, listen, like Caldoon said, he's a legend. They're going to invite him out.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
It'd be like retired players who have like a lifetime season ticket.
The thing is, this is the rebuild. I agree with this. People wanted a rebuild. You're getting a rebuild. Yeah. It is. I just think it's the 23rd of June. We're just going to have to relax. What I saw yesterday, I know, Alan, you're calling it the dog and duck, but I'm sorry, I was impressed with yesterday.
Listen, I watched the game in the pub yesterday, and, you know, I go into these pre-season so-called friendlies, as I call them, and I was happy with the performance. The players all did well. That includes Nunes. They all did well.
Yes. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, good night.
they all did well.
And then on a positive note before he finishes.
We've got to close off. You know, it's like when you make a birdie on the first hole, it's like, I'm going back to the clubhouse. It doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like, you know, they all did well, but I'm not going to rave about it because we're playing against a very, very average side. Let's be honest. You know, at the end of the day, I'd have been happy with 3 draws in this group and getting knocked out and coming home and resting players and doing a pre-season. I don't care, right, about this tournament. I really don't care.
It's back to normal now.
I don't care. Do not care. And
if we'd have got beat, Alan, you would not be saying that.
No,
mate, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be at the Imperial too, would you?
Hey,
you wouldn't be at the Imperial too, would you?
Well, I went to the Imperial because everyone else is there upstairs. We're in the function room.
You know what?
upstairs.
This is what makes me laugh. Is we win, it's a friendly. We lose, meltdown, sir. Because the other day, you know this, Alan, they only won 2-0 and everyone had a meltdown. We win 6-0. Oh, it's only the dog and duck.
Well, I thought they were better than the dog and duck. More like the white horse, to be honest with you. So
you didn't realise that was Khaldoon's that was Sheikh's cousin, brother, or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, it can be fancies a bit on the side as far as I'm concerned. But at the end of the day, they were white horse, and I don't really care. But the players did well, and it was good to see that we're scoring goals.
Yes, they are. I don't know where this club are. Listen, the club are speaking with Libermento's reps. We'll see what happens.
So I'm thinking, can I ask you a question? Have they been given permission by Newcastle to talk to him?
No, but people speak.
You're not supposed to, mate.
Oh, piss off, Alan.
Alan, I think that you're sort of looking over the real problem, the real issue here is like you're calling LA in the dog and duck or the white horse or something like that. But don't forget that this was the club that spent £4 million to have Mancini as an advisor, which is what bloody Premier League are trying to nick us. So if you're going to slag off the club that used Mancini as an advisor,
well,
you're indirectly slugging off Roberto Mancini. So that goes against everything in your philosophy.
You know me well enough. He's been in this house. Mancini's God, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
and I'll have him back tomorrow. This club has received.
Hang on, whoa! You'd have him back over Pep. You'd have him back over Pep.
Where Pep's gone, Mancini can walk through the door.
Oh no!
Hang on. You want to go back to World War III, do you?
No, we've got rid of Joe Sulky Heart, so he's not there anymore. And I'm crying because I don't have a birthday cake.
Alan, you know exactly what went on with that Mancini stuff. Do you want to go back there?
Mancini's God, mate, as far as I'm concerned.
No, he's not. He got 2 cough
Fabregas, Alan. Fabregas.
Alan Trafford.
What's he ever done?
Didn't score 7. Fabregas.
Big up, Fate. I hope the
hang on. I saw this the other day. What's Fabregas ever done as a manager? Ever?
Wait. What's he doing with Como and the hands-on he's doing with Como?
Who?
Serie A. I know you don't watch the European leagues, but with the Serie A.
Mate, I don't want Fabregas. He's managing nobody. He is managing the dog and duck.
I'm in a minute. Whoa, right. We're going to do this. We're doing this. Are you going to tell me that PSG are in the most competitive league in the world?
No, but mate, they've got a good side. They are probably the best.
Colma are in a much harder league than PSG are, and do not tell me they're not, Alan.
Mate, if I was going to choose anyone, it's Vinny.
Not yet.
I'm big enough to admit if Vinny wins the Bundesliga again this year, and then comes close to the Champions League, there's only one manager that's coming. It's Vinny, and you know it as well as I do.
No, I don't.
I'd go one further, Alan. I'd rather Vinny wins the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, I hope he does. Before
I consider it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying to you. Yes to Vinny, but not yet. And that not yet means you have to win. He has to win a fair bit, and not just the Bundesliga, because he's expected to win the Bundesliga every season now. He has to win.
As is thingy at PSG expected to win the La Liga every year.
Exactly.
Do you think Pep will leave in 2 years or next year?
I think he'll leave in 2.
Leaving when?
2 years. Why are you so desperate to get Pep out the door, you?
No, I just think he's had enough.
After the World
Cup. What gives you that idea?
He's had enough or you've had enough?
No, after the World Cup.
I think he after maybe right after the World Cup. Maybe that might be true.
When's he ever broken a contract?
See, if I had a choice of any manager in the world right now to come and get, I don't think we'll be able to get him. It's Enrique. I've said that before, and you know I have.
Can I ask why?
Why? Because he plays the Barcelona way, which he does.
No.
Right?
Why would
So does
City
No,
be able to say it?
just why? Because he plays Barcelona away, right? And I think he's a top manager and he's won trophies.
No, you misunderstood. Why would he not come and say
Who?
Enrique?
Wouldn't come to City. Or would?
You said I don't think we get him out. Why?
Because PSG at the moment are on the crest of a wave. I don't think he'd leave yet.
What can PSG do to improve on what they've done, apart from win another Champions League?
Nothing. They're playing great football with a great young team, and I just think when Pep decides to say, "I'm had enough. I'm having a few years off," that's the person I would try and go and get.
I think they play decent. See, I've said this before. I think the PSG still get it. They're a great team. I think we're glazing it a bit. Just my opinion.
They absolutely. I said to you about the quarterfinal stage, they'll win it.
Let's see if they retain it, though. If they retain it, then they're a great team.
I'm going to be honest with you. City's prime dominance would beat that PSG team.
Well, I'm talking about when Pep decides to go.
No. People are talking about PSG like they're reinventing the wheel.
I don't think we'll get Enrique. I think we'll get Vinny because realistically, I think we'll be able to get him easy.
Well, I'm not bothered who we get. I mean, we'll deal with that 2 years down the line, Alan.
Yeah.
But my point is I watched PSG the other day get beat by Botafogo.
Yeah, I did as well.
And everyone made it out as though Botafogo were amazing and PSG were unlucky.
No,
There's a bit of a glaze on PSG at the minute.
Botafogo qualified above Atletico Madrid.
No, Daniel, I get that. But you know yourself, there is a bit of a glaze on PSG at the minute more than any other club in the world. I don't get it. And we've had this debate ourselves. I don't get this. People big up PSG more than they big up Manchester City at the minute. I don't get it.
Well, City are nowhere near the best team in Europe yet. Not yet.
I understand that. But next season, if everything clicks, I think we can be.
Well, we'll just have to see how these new guys do against decent teams.
Alan, in 2 games, I have seen us improve massively.
I agree. But we played against a fucking park team.
And PSG got beat by a fucking park team.
Well,
what are we doing here? Botafogo and not some fucking major force, Aaron.
Sorry, Brazilian.
Look at what we did to Fluminense in the World Cup Club World Cup final 2 years ago.
We're not doing that. Our line is some dog and duck, and Botafogo are amazing. When
Botafogo's can I speak? Can I get, mate? Botafogo, didn't they not win the South American Champions League crap?
Yes.
Right. So they can't be shit. Can they?
They got 2 players that just got bought by Nottingham Forest. They've got talent.
I know.
Forest are not my.
Martin,
we wanted to shop at Forest.
Mate, with all due respect, the only reason I think you.
hitting you hard.
With all due respect, I think some of you got PTSD on last season.
Well, listen.
You've given up.
We're not even favourites to win the Premier League this year.
So what?
That's fine. That means it's now Liverpool's to lose.
Because I tell you what, we win the Premier League next year. You better all fucking wait down because I'm coming down with a tidal wave of receipts after every single fucker I can get hold of. I am coming after receipt after receipt after receipt if we win this league.
Now, I've just got a text message off my friend Elliot. Has he been winding you up today? Because he said, well wound up.
But I'll tell you what, you know what I want to see at the minute? I want to see Manchester City fans have a bit more backbone and a bit more chest.
Well, we are, mate. But
no, you haven't. I've not seen City fans this glum since 1998.
Hang on. Just calm down. Calm down. Right? Just calm down, Martin. You're well edgy tonight.
No.
Someone's wound you up. Someone's
I'll tell
wound
you what
you
it
up, haven't
is.
they?
Don't
I'll
you
tell you
start
what it
having
is.
gaslighting
You are so, oh my God, City are finished. Well, crap, this, that, and the other. What's up with you?
I've not said the crap. I've not said that. We're in a rebuild. We're in a rebuild. So, like I say, just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, that rebuild when Ilkay Gundogan was. By the way, Phil Foden, you owe him a fucking apology, right, bastard? Now, sunshine, Bulling, come on, go after Phil, go on.
Right, last year he was shit.
2 games this season, he shut you all the f up.
Well, let's hope that continues, Martin. But until the league season starts, until the proper football starts, which is the league season, then we'll see if he can do it or not. But last year, officially,
if he does it against Juve now, come on now. If he does it against Juve,
that's fine. That's Friday our time, isn't it? When we're watching that. So
the analysis only goes downhill when Alan appears on the freaking screen.
No, it's you. You're wound up big time.
It's
you're this. Giving it this one.
You came out of your mum complaining about the weather. You came out of your mum complaining about the smell and the weather. That's how miserable you are.
I'm dead.
Mate, I'm officially a miserable. I am officially
the person who'd pull his face around Disney World.
Can I finish my sentence? Right. I'm officially a miserable twat. Right.
Thank you. Well done. Right. He's admitted it.
Yeah, I am a miserable twat. But I'll speak the truth. I will. What's he doing now? It's your channel. Right. No, don't forget it's your channel. Yeah, right. Okay, we don't know that one. But what gets me is when Patrick and Richard and myself and go on the Aussie channel that you give us on a Wednesday. As soon as we say something that you don't agree with, you're straight on, and you're not even part of Australian channel. You're straight on, and it makes me laugh. As soon as you're like. It's true. It's Patrick's channel that day show.
Don't like and subscribe on the way up.
Hey, it's true, isn't it? You know, I live in Melbourne. He lives in Sydney, and so Richard lives in Sydney.
Well, maybe if the Australian boys fucking turned up on time, there wouldn't be a problem for me to come on.
Well, listen. Calm down. You live in Oldham, Martin. You live in Oldham. You know, that's Manchester.
Alan, can we not dox people as we're going round here, mate?
Mate, you're not going to drive around.
Continue doxing yourself on Twitter Spaces, but don't dox everybody else, okay?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
God.
Do you know what I mean? He'll ring me up tonight. As soon as this is finished, he'll ring me up and have a go. Where's Ed disappeared?
I'm not even triggered. I'm just... You know what it is with me? I'll tell you what I'm triggered. I'm done with the misery guts. Let's have a bit of positivity for the change. We win 6-0 and everyone goes, we're looking, it's only pre-season. Which one is it?
It's only pre-season.
But we win 2-0 the other day.
We played the fucking White Horse on a Tuesday. We played the fucking Dog and Duck on a Saturday.
Exactly. It's like, my God.
There'll be Elephant and Wheelbarrow next weekend. Good pun, by the way.
Martin, final thoughts, gentlemen.
Have you heard anything on the right back?
Negotiations are going on. They are looking at a number of players. Negotiations are going on.
Do you know which ones we're looking at?
No.
He's a liar. He's such a liar. You
should hear a lot of stuff until after our participation at this
should be writing for the Sun or the Mirror.
Nothing can happen, Alan, until people go out.
Oh no! Yeah, I know.
So just anyway, we'll leave it there, gentlemen.
All right, you having a space tonight?
No, I would like some sleep at some point. I would like just a little bit of sleep.
Martin.
I don't know when I'm going to get sleep, but I would like a little bit.
Martin, it's early for you. You're usually up all night.
I'm on and all night nowadays, mate. Don't forget, I was
pretty much pulled an all-nighter for the watch-along, so...
Yeah, welcome to our club.
Let him have it.
Welcome to our club. Where me and Patrick have to get up every weekend, like 2 in the morning, to watch games.
Patrick,
So-
I thank you. You left the UK and turned your back on it. Shut your mouth. Anyway, I'll say to you what I said to Rich earlier. UK, love it or leave it. You left it. Pat, big up, and anyone abroad who gets up. But when you leave your own country because you turn your back on them, nah, don't give it back. No space today. Alan, you want to do a space? Do a space.
All right, I will do then.
Yeah,
Shall I do a
everyone
space
get into
yet?
Alan's space. It's called I'm a Miserable Twat. Come and join me for an hour.
Welcome to Misery Guts FC.
Yeah.
I'm your personal,
Like and
I'm your personal
subscribe.
Lucifer.
Like
I'm Alan,
and
your personal
subscribe.
Lucifer.
Right, we will be back
Oh.
now. Tomorrow, I'm on NUFC Talk at 9:30. We were going to do a calling show, but I've just realised I'm out tomorrow day. I'm waiting for the boiler man to come, so I've got to stay at my mum's all day. Said he's going to be there probably. Now they've told me to keep changing times because I probably won't be on South Stand tomorrow night either because I'm waiting for this boiler man to turn up, and it can be any time up to 7 p.m. So I'll be on NUFC Talk 9:30 tomorrow. Wednesday, Blues Down Under, episode 8.
That doesn't include you, Martin.
All right, when you start paying the fucking bills, you can decide who goes on what show. So
My phone didn't even ask me.
what time would you like? I've said 11:30, but that can be changed.
No, earlier the better because I've got to be up at about 3:30 in the morning on Thursday.
What time do you want? 11? Half 10? Throw me a time.
Half 10, 10, something like
half
that.
10. I'll change it now. Are you all right with half 10, Alan?
Make it 10 o'clock, please.
Fucking 10 o'clock.
Earlier the better. I don't mind.
That's 7 o'clock at night, which is perfect.
10 a.m. There you go. Right, I've changed it. Wednesday, 10 a.m. It's now changed.
Yeah.
We will then be back. Maybe Wednesday night. I'm not sure. We'll let you know. But Thursday, the Juventus watch along will be on starting at 7:30. So there won't be a Thursday night chat live from the Camping World Arena Stadium, where in Orlando, Florida, where Ed will be.
Okay,
so Ed's going to send us some lovely videos.
Are you going to the match, Ed?
Yes.
Yeah, because he doesn't do season ticket. He goes to games like you.
Well, Ed,
it's a must-win, Alan. It's a must-win.
There's a tropical storm before the games, and then we can have a sleep.
Apparently, we're having 45 minutes for half time because they've got dancers on the pitch. And every 10 minutes, we've got adverts, and the game stops because that's what the Americans are used to. And
yeah, so that'll be Blues Down Under 10 a.m. Wednesday in the UK. Thursday, we'll do the watch along. Ed, we'll try and get. Did you like that when everyone came on? We'll try and get some people on again on Thursday during the watch along.
I'll be listening to the chat. I'll be listening in too. I'll be listening in.
I'll be looking out for you in the crowd.
Magnus on. We'll get Magnus on, maybe Pat. We'll see if we can get on. Rich,
I might be down in Melbourne for the Juventus game.
Are you coming down?
Wait, what is that?
Are you coming down?
I might be coming down, yeah.
All right.
Well, I might pop down on Thursday afternoon and then stay around till Friday evening or maybe even Saturday.
What we're going to do is Friday's waffle show at 12. I know there's normally a transfer. Well, there's not a lot of transfers going on. So if LB doesn't mind, we'll probably do a post-match on Friday at 12 p.m.
Just make it a delayed TNC then.
It's 5 a.m. in the morning. Champions League time. 5 a.m. in the morning for us.
We'll swap the waffle show for the post-match. So we'll do that. So then it's 8 p.m. Friday for anyone in Australia. 9 p.m. who wants to join. And we'll do it then. So, yeah. And then we'll see you next week. End of... Yeah, no worries. Bebo, always welcome, mate. And then we'll see what we can do. The channel will or may close down for a bit. Won't be as busy towards the end of July. Pat's got some shows that I think he's going to plan and do.
I hope so, yeah.
But I'm obviously going to be in Turkey and I will be gone. You will not hear from me. Pat has got access to the channel now. Alan is not getting his own show because he's a naughty boy and he can't be trusted. So, no, Ed. Also, when I come back from Turkey, we will get stateside blues rolling, which I cannot wait for. Cannot wait for that.
It's gonna have some hot takes on there, Martin. It's gonna have some hot takes.
We're gonna have some hot takes. So anyone who is listening and you've been asked to come on it, and when I come back,
I said hot takes. Sorry, I thought he was having breakfast at IHOP or something. Hot cakes.
No, hot cakes. No.
I'm getting you here.
We call them pancakes, Pat. We call them pancakes over here.
There is no Wi-Fi in Turkey.
Actually, that's what we call pancakes at McDonald's. We call them hotcakes. Yeah.
You want to try and get internet in Turkey. It's very hard. Very hard.
Let's not talk about Turkey until after we leave there, Martin. Let's not talk bad about Turkey until after we leave there.
Anyway, Bevo going LB. What? No, LB's finished. LB finished ages ago. Anyway, big up to everyone. If you can smash those last few likes on the way out, that'd be amazing. We'll see you soon. We are on our way to 7K. Take care. And as always, up the Blues. I'm going to be positive this year. Let Alan be the misery guts. I don't care. Alan's going to support PSG from here on in. I'm a Manchester City fan. That's the way we do it. Big up PSG, Alan. PSG forever.
Well, at the moment, they're the champions, man. So
you do realise you're about 30 years older than PSG, don't you?
Yeah.
You do realise PSG are like nobody's in the world of football. Yeah. Sorry, you're not going to like that, but you were created in the 70s.
Alan, you have your own PSG, pretty surly gentleman.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will see you on Friday morning.
People talk about heritage with PSG. I just look at them and think they were created in the 70s. Get in the bin. In the bin.
Do you remember Rio Ferdinand said after the Champions League final, he goes, "Oh, this is a win for football." What?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Got socks older than PSG.
Well, he's a rag, isn't he? So who gives a toss about Rio?
And by the way, I think PSG, great fan base, but let's not pretend PSG are like 150 years old.
Martin's very aggressive today. Have you noticed?
No, because I'm sick of Manchester City being disrespected. You need a bit more respect in this world, and you're going to get it off me.
You're a happy clapper, aren't you?
No, we're blue and we're proud. Listen, just because you didn't get to see a shiny pot this year, Alan, you're upset because you're only here for the glory. Now,
no,
you know what I mean?
Martin, I was there in the early 70s, mate, all the way through.
Right, we won trophies then, mate.
I heard Billy Meredith was brilliant, Alan.
Oh, so what you're saying is 69, 70 you were there? Oh, yeah.
No, 71. I was there from 71.
Oh, you just missed out on the domestic and European double.
I was too young. I was 5 years of age when I sat on the.
So is that what made you a City fan?
No, my dad did.
So he's just proved his point there. Pat, you heard that, Ed. He became a City fan in 71, which remarkably was 12 months after we'd won a domestic and European double. Weird that one, isn't it, Alan? So you had a bit of a glory hunter, really,
aren't you?
They gave you false dreams, Alan. They gave you false dreams.
You're a bit of a glory hunter, really, aren't you, Alan?
Mate, I was there from 71 at age 5, sat on the bars of the key packs, sometimes on the wall.
Trophies
you didn't make any trips to Paris in 1970, did you?
You know, I was at Main Road before, while you were some sort of sperm in your dad's bollocks, Martin. So that's good.
And I've still been to Main Road. hey, mate, you did go to Main Road before me, but I've been there a million times more than you now, sunshine.
No, you haven't been Main Road. You've been to the Etihad.
I've been to more games than you've had crumpets.
Have you?
Yeah.
Every time we go away, we get beat. So don't go again.
Go on.
I know you were. Martin goes away to away games to get beat. I was criticising when we played Pat. He wasn't the last game of the season for him. He wasn't there when he said he was, because I know he wasn't there because I'm not told.
What's up, what are you saying?
Nothing, Martin.
You want to sing when we're winning?
Yeah. Yeah. Martin sits with the family stand. It goes in the family stand, but all the empty seats.
Alan, you sit in the family stand. It's called your couch.
Ooh, he's got the family empty stand. The empty ad.
Did you join in the protest, Alan?
Pardon?
Did you join in the protest at the Etihad?
No, I did at Main Road with Wales.
What was the reason you joined in the protest?
Because I was sat here, mate. In Australia.
Where's that voting button?
I was in the Etihad, the City Supporters Club, mate.
Sorry,
And then when I go to City, there we go.
There we go. Back for this season. Alan season ticket. Alan season ticket.
Isn't it embarrassing that Pat's been to more games at the Etihad than you?
No, it's not.
Yeah, he has.
Mate, I was there for 2000.
How many games did you go to last season?
2003.
How many games did you go to, Pat,
Hang
last
on,
season?
shut
It was
up.
a pleasure to meet you at the
Shut up. I was seeing 2003 to 2007 every home game without fail. So I don't think so.
You know, got a big bite here. Thank booking. Yeah. This is hilarious. You are so easy to fish.
You guys fish each other, man. It's like,
anyway, no, big up. Padded seats only for Alan. Padded seats and prawn sandwiches, BB.
Here we go.
I like that prawn sandwich. The prawn sandwich, big.
Right. Everyone's had the fun. Everyone's had the fun.
Fucking shit.
The prawn.
Why are we not 10-0 up? Fucking shit, this.
Did I text you during the last game? No, I didn't.
They've had a shot on goal. Fuck's sake. How dare we let them get past the halfway line, lad?
We let them walk on the fucking pitch. Pep out.
Yeah. How fucking dare they get down that tunnel? Pep out. Fucking let them get on the tunnel.
Yo, for all the Americans, man,
is there a fucking tramline through the stadium? Why is fucking Nunes on the pitch?
Do you know what I mean? They got on the tunnel and they had the goal to stand up in the line and had the names read out. Cheeky bastard. Sack the PA guy. Suck him. Suck him. Pep out.
As soon as I'm livening this stream up by coming on here and winding Martin up, can everyone press the like button, which is the thumbs up like that? Yeah, press that now. It does help the channel. It does help the channel.
Fucking never away, cheeky bastard. Listen, it's not my fault. You sit on the wrong end of the Etihad, man. You sit in an area I can't get to. Don't ever tell me women can talk. We've been shutting down for 10 minutes. And then we brought Alan in. Listen, we are going to do a history show about Alan. We're going to talk about all the games just to reminisce about Alan that he wasn't at.
Oof.
We could get a good 2 years show out of that, can't we? All the games Alan made.
Cheeky bastards.
Anyway, big up all. We'll see you soon. Take care. Smash them likes on the way out. This lot will be back for Blues Down Under, 10 a.m. Wednesday. And as always, up the Blues.
Come on, PSG.
You're an absolute git. Bye.